All right, and we're live here for the Indianapolis 500 here on YouTube. I've got the race going, so we should hopefully have a pretty good race today. Biggest race of the entire year for literally everybody involved. So, yeah, and say every driver, this is the one that they spend all year getting ready for. So, yeah, biggest race of the year, certainly the largest track any of these series go to in terms of square footage. Because yeah, it's a big track. I'm here just outside of Charlotte, obviously, because I'm waiting for the for the Coca-Cola 600 later tonight. But yeah, we got a pretty good race going here. Getting ready to go. Alex Palou on the pole position. Middle of the front row here. I don't actually remember the starting grid that well. Marina's VK in the middle of the front row, and then Felix Rosenquist on the outside of the front row. Ferrucci, Pato Award, and Scott Dixon, row 2. Row 3, Rossi, Sato, and Kanan. Marcus Ericsson rounding out your top 10. Benjamin Peterson, Will Power, Ed Carpenter, Scott McLaughlin, and Kyle Kirkwood will round out the top 15 that you guys can see on your screens. And let me pull up an active leaderboard for me to scroll around on without messing up the on-screen stuff for all you guys. But yeah, so here we go. Should be getting ready here momentarily to go green, although they aren't tripled up like they normally are. Also, yeah, the 24 car of Graham Rahal stalled on the start, so they're trying to get that car back going before we ultimately get the green flag. So yeah, it looks like Graham Rahal is going to miss the start of the 500 as he was originally scheduled to after he failed to bump his way in, but then an injury from Stephen Wilson put him back in the field here for today's race. But yeah, so here we go. Got the leaderboard up, and we are ready to go racing here. The cars are 3x3, and they are ready to go racing here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. One of the greatest speedways in all of sports. So here we go. On to the main straightaway, and they are off and racing. Green flag is out, and they are racing at Indianapolis. So here we go. Alex Palou looks to have gotten the lead, although hard to tell from the colors who that second place car early on is. Looks like it might be Renus VK up into second. Felix Rosenquist in third. Scott Dixon, he has made his way up to fourth place here. Ferrucci and Pato Award dropping a little bit further back here. Yeah, so Scott Dixon making passes around the outside. That's going to create some gap there for him to try and make some more chancy moves here as Ferrucci falls back to the 5th position. Alexander Rossi moving up to 6th place here. Will Power up to 9th. Pato Award and Sato seem to be slipping just a little bit here. Tony Kanaan has slipped down the grid just a tad bit. Ed Carpenter making his way up into that top 15 early on here as well. So, I'm going to say, early on, though, it was a clean start. They managed to get all the cars into single file formation here pretty early on. Obviously, this early on in the race, you got a lot of drivers hitting their first fast lap of the day. So, yeah, not much concern there in terms of the drivers actually getting their, in terms of the drivers actually getting in line and managing to maintain their start. And did I just see VK? Yeah, VK just made a pass to the lead here down the front straightaway. Marina's VK now leads for Ed Carpenter Racing here at the Speedway. I say, he's been fast in qualifying. The biggest thing is trying to actually finish this race out. He has had the worst of times in trying to actually finish the race the last couple of years. So hopefully that doesn't prove a problem later on, but he looks fast early on here. Welcome to everybody in the chat as well. So hopefully you guys are excited for the race. I know I am. But yes, they are. So they just mentioned on the broadcast how Arena's VK only made it to lap 39 last year. So certainly hoping that VK can do a little bit better this year. And did Alex Palou just make another? Did Alex Palou just take this lead back? Yeah, there he goes. Popped out of line and goes and makes the pass on Arena's VK for the lead. So starting that leapfrog lead change mentality already early in this race. Meanwhile, the rest of the grid is starting to settle down as Ed Carpenter makes the pass on Scott McLaughlin. The three got passed by the 33 there for 12th. So making some ground here. So just trying to keep an eye on what we got going on here. Not a lot of changes at the front in terms of leapfrogging, but for the most part, these guys, now granted, you get almost a full day worth of practice out of it, 20-something hours, I think it is. So no shock that qualifying does tend to produce pretty consistent results, at least in terms of who's fast at the start. But massive disappointment though to see Graham Rahal potentially out of the race as early as this. Let's see, he hasn't even gotten on the track yet, so we're still waiting to see on that one. Kyle Kirkwood made a pass there on Benjamin Peterson, the young rookie out of the AJ Foyt stable here. But so here we go. But right now I think this the name of the game though for the first half of this race for the most part is survive and stay close, because there's usually this race is, for the most part, it's an endurance style race where you are not guaranteed to make it to the checkered flag in this race ever. And some of the other races on the season, maybe you could say that there's a pretty good chance that there's only maybe one crash. And we've even seen a couple of races go green to checker here at some of the road course races this year, but Indy 500 is certainly no road course race. So here we go. Let's see. Again, not a lot of changes. People just kind of trying to again settle in here and get ready for the run as we go later into this race. But and then the other thing is saving fuel here early on in the race by not leading is the other thing. They're talking about it right now on the broadcast. Is how you don't actually want to be leading because of the fact that you burn so much more fuel out in front. And you want to be able to make it as deep into the run as you can without needing to pit here. So, all right, let's see. Oh, Will Power and Marcus Ericsson just turned their fastest laps of the race. But so again, for the most part, these guys are just trying to survive and trying to manage the fuel here as they get early on into this race. But Graham Rahal, he is out and he is rolling. So if we get a couple of yellows here, he may be able to make his way back to the lead lap and fight for something here in this race. But it'll be so he officially lost, I believe it was 2 laps. I thought it was more than that. I thought he lost 3. Let me see. They're saying 2. Let's see what the official timing and scoring thing on their app says. Yeah, it says 3 laps, so I think he's got more ground to make up than that. But so They're already going to a side-by-side commercial. Okay. I hope we don't have any green flag racing that we missed due to a commercial later in the race when it's more important. Keep an eye on everything. But yeah, so Rinus VK just made the pass on Pelot there. I'm pretty certain that that's from his from Pelot's team telling him, pretty much begging him to let somebody else lead this race for now. Because again, leading early in the race doesn't matter. Leading at lap 200 is what matters. So, yeah. Also, Will Power just passed Takuma Sato there further back in the field, so. Yeah, say, settling in for a pretty good race, hopefully, going on here. But, yeah. Really hoping that we can, let's see, projected next pit stop. Can we see that? So, yeah, it looks like lap 37 is when we expect to see the field pitting. So, they can go about that many laps. So, if you can go 37, got to put you short of the finish, that's for sure. You're going to end up making an extra stop than you probably could if you can stretch it. Which I guess that kind of goes to the nature of save that extra fuel that you can, because you do not want to be the guy that has to make that one extra pit stop late in the race. Monaco was earlier this morning. I got a chance to see that. I didn't get a chance to stream it like I kind of had hoped, but yeah. So massive congratulations to Max Verstappen on winning the Monaco Grand Prix this morning. He is now 1/3 of his way to the Triple Crown of racing. Nobody this year that can get it, I don't think, unless Juan Pablo is I think Juan Pablo needs the F1 race. I'd have to check and see exactly which jewels he has. I know he's 2/3 of his way to a Triple Crown. I just don't know what his missing ring is. If it is the 24-hour Le Mans, we might still see a Triple Crown win, but yeah, nobody in the Indy 500 though today has a shot at the Triple Crown. Maybe we can see Fernando come back in years coming, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. But yeah, so and there we go. I think they're just showing the replay of the pass that Rinus VK made on Alex Pelot there to take the lead. And again, Pelot gonna try and probably fuel mileage his way from here as he is in second place and can now start to coast a bit more in the tailwind of the car in front of him, just kind of drafting up behind him. Oh no, and Alex Pelot goes and makes a pass on Rinus VK. Why? If you just gave up the lead to try and save fuel, why do you go and pass him right back? I mean, I guess maybe this is an agreement between the two to kind of alternate. Okay, you lead 5 laps, now I lead 5 laps, now you lead 5 laps, but I don't know. Seems like the two drivers really just neither one wants to lead here. But yeah, so now Alex Pelot is out front and leading this race like his team doesn't want him to do, so. As I say, Benjamin Peterson down there in 15th, still the highest running rookie, so kind of surprising to not see David Malukas making his way through the field here. I know he didn't have the best of speed, but I thought he had a pretty decent race car, not to mention at Texas last month, he really looked like the Oval Meister, so. But yeah, so we're getting ready though for, we're lap 18 already, so we're making our way through here. We're almost 10th of the way through already. But yeah, my pick for this race, I like the prospect of I like Ferrucci for a top 10. I don't know if he'll have the speed at the end of the race to get it done, I'll go with Ferrucci, though. He's the fun pick. Pato O'Ward would be my safer pick if I wanted to go safer, but I'll go with Ferrucci, though. He's currently riding in 5th place here, and he's from my same neck of the woods up in the Northeast. He's from Connecticut. I'm from all the way up in Maine, but yeah. The hometown guy, I guess you could say, for Ferrucci. Not to mention, he has shown some driving ability at this race in the last few years, going across the grass to avoid wrecks and using the gas pedal more often than not to avoid a wreck as opposed to the brake pedal. So, yeah. So, yeah, we're just kind of working our way through this so far. Let's check chat, see how everybody's doing. But, yeah, so Will Power's made up the most spots here. And, oh, who's that man pass on Scott Dixon? That was Ferrucci going back up into the top 3 there. Or, no, not Ferrucci. Was it Ferrucci? Yeah, it looked like maybe Ferrucci up there making a pass on Dixon for 4th there. Yeah, there we go. Santino Ferrucci just made the pass on Dixon, so... There we go, and it looks like Alexander Rossi also made a pass on Dixon there while Dixon was out of the way, making room for Ferrucci. And now another car going around Scott Dixon. Is Scott Dixon got a problem, or does his team just want him saving that much fuel? I mean... But, yeah, I don't know. That's Pato O'Ward now going by Scott Dixon, so that's a lot of McLaren power going by. Yeah, so not sure why Dixon's drifting back quite that far. Let me just go plug this thing in real quick. Alright, here we go. So, they go to another commercial here, another side-by-side commercial. Okay. I will say, I like the fact that they're using these side-by-side commercials way more. And now Takuma Sato and Will Power have both passed Scott Dixon while I was plugging my phone in real quick. So, yeah. That's a bit of a surprise there to see again. Not sure why Scott Dixon's drifting this far back, but yeah, the next car behind him is Marcus Ericsson, his teammate. So maybe his teammate will play a little bit nicer with him, but we'll have to wait and see. Because, yeah. I don't know. It looks like, is that Scott Dixon just letting everybody buy him? No? I'm trying to figure out. No, that was Pelot there letting. Oh, yep, that was Scott Dixon just got passed by Ericsson and Kanaan. Meanwhile, Alex Pelot also let Remus VK back by him. So, VK back to the race lead, Alex Pelot back to 2nd. Meanwhile, Dixon now drops just outside the top 10. And you've got Remus VK back to the pole. So, Kanaan in his final Indy 500 were working it inside the top 10 here. And Joseph Newgarden and Kyle Kirkwood have now put Benjamin Peterson outside the top 15. So there we go. Oh, and now McLaughlin makes a pass on Scott. Okay. And there we go. Newgarden just passed Ed Carpenter. So, yeah. Not sure, again, what might be wrong with Scott Dixon's car or if this is just a fuel mileage game. We'll have to wait and see what we potentially hear on the radio from the crew later. But, yeah. yeah, the fact that and let's see, are we gonna see Newgarden make a pass here on Dixon too? Let's see, but it has been a challenge so far, it seems. So here we go. They're back from commercial break, and we might finally get our answer as to what's going on with Scott Dixon. But yeah, there we go. Carpenter and Newgarden just made it past Scott Dixon as well. Dixon now back to 14th. So he's going to be in a lot of traffic here. So yeah, Scott Dixon does not seem like he's in a very solid place here at this point. But yeah, not really a great day for the Ganassi cars. It does not look like so far. As we get ready for the first round of pit stops here coming up shortly. And again, we're expecting that first round of pit stops to be somewhere around 37. Oh, tire vibration for Scott Dixon. Okay, so it's just poor handling. Okay. Oh, and here we go. Scott Dixon coming into the pit road. Scott Dixon pitting here early on. So Scott Dixon goes and he pits. So clearly whatever it was bothering him, it was really bad, because you normally would not expect to see a driver pit this early, about 10 laps early of the window. So there we go. Connor Daly making his first appearance up in that top 15 all day. He just passed Benjamin Peterson for that spot. I'm curious if the Dixon pit stop here will drag anyone else to an early pit stop here. Because if Dixon with the fresh tires goes out here and lays down some electric laps, you could see, realistically, him pressure some of these other guys to come to pit. There we go. Newgarden just passed McLaughlin there for 11th. And Pelot just took back the lead from Rinus VK. What? Oh, and why is that Romain Grosjean on pit road? Yeah, that is. So at least Scott Dixon drove Romain Grosjean to the pit road with him. Again, it's an early pit stop, but if the tires end up working for these guys, they may start to pressure some of these front runners to pit a little earlier than they expected. But again, you want to make sure that you have a set of tires. You want to make sure you don't run out of tires. Oh, is that Kyle Kirk? No, we know that's Elio Castroneves, the other pink Sirius XM car. There's only like 3 of them in the race. So yeah, there we go. Newgarden just passed Tony Kanaan for 10th. So Newgarden's continuing to truck his way up to the front of the field here. So yeah. So Elio had the same type of vibration that Scott Dixon had, and I'm guessing that was the same problem there for Romain Grosjean, but he was waiting for someone else to make the pit stop decision. Oh, Alex Palou and Santino Ferrucci both pitting. There we go. The front runners have started to pit, and that will start to drag some of these other guys to pit road here. So that's a lot of guys making their way further to the front. But yeah, so Palou pitting really early. I don't know about that one being so that one might be a concern going forward, though. If you pit this early, we'll have to watch that one for the remainder of the race. Those two, because again, every kind of database was kind of saying that they would go about another 6-7 laps or so compared to what they did. So that's not good if they are changing their strategy, but maybe this was their plan from the beginning. Wait and see. Who else was out on pit road? R.C. Anderson, Callum Ilott, looks like Ray Hall as well on pit road. Let's say Ryan Hunter, Ray, Simon Pagino, and Colton Herta now up into that top 15 after those pit stops early. But yeah, so I think. Oh, and Rinus VK comes to pit road. I'm curious to see when these McLarens may pit. because you got McLaren now 1, 2, 3 at the front of the field. But, Ryan Hunter-Reay and Connor Daly also coming to pit road. So that's 3 more guys near the front of the field coming to pit road. So that moves Devlin DeFrancesco up into that top 15. So here we go. David Malukas also making an appearance up in that top 15 for the first time today. So, yeah, it seems like the pit windows are going earlier and earlier, and I wonder how much that was preempted by Scott Dixon and crew pitting early like they did. So, yep. Oh, and there we go. There go the McLarens. Some of the McLarens. You have Felix Rosenquist, Tony Kanaan. You also have Ericsson, Newgarden, McLaughlin, and Ed Carpenter all coming to pit road. But Rossi and Award, 2 of the 4 McLarens, are still out there running. Will Power, Kyle Kirkwood, Colton Herta still at the front of the field. Those are your top 5 right now. Rossi, Award, Power, Kirkwood, and Herta. Oh, and Alexander Rossi, Pat Award, and Will Power all come to pit road as well. So, again, it seems like everybody's kind of starting to draw the rest of the field into the pits. You don't want to get short pit. Herta, Rosenquist, and Pagano have also opted to come to pit road. Same with David Malukas, Newgarden, DeFrancesco, Harvey pitting as well. So we'll have to wait and see who all potentially doesn't pit here. See if anybody kind of jumps to the front. So it looks like Christian Lundgaard has yet to pit. So Lundgaard jumping to the front of the field here. In one of those Rahal cars, we kind of knew early on that they were going to be needing to manage the fuel if they really wanted a shot at the win here. But Palou back up into the top 10 already. So Palou back up to 7th here as he's going through the start-finish line, I think. So we'll have to see, but here comes Rossi and Pat Award off pit road. We'll have to see how they blend here. So it's Lundgaard, Palou, VK, your top 3. And there goes Lundgaard to pit road. So Christian Lundgaard coming to pit road here. So now it'll be Palou, VK, Ferrucci, Rosenquist, your top 4. Not sure who 5th is going to end up being. I think they're still cycling around right now, but Rossi is currently showing P5, so I guess we'll say Alexander Rossi P5 for now. But, yeah, so Rossi blended in behind Rosenquist there at the end of that as they were coming off pit road there. And, Catherine Legg having a problem in the pits, so that's not good. So, okay, so it looked like she just spun the tires and slid after she was on her way exiting the pit box. That's weird. That's not something you see every day. That's for sure. But yeah, so now all 3 Ed Carpenter cars are up in that top 15. So here we go. Let's say again, everybody kind of went through that cycle, and luckily no major issues. Again, VK pitted a little later than Palou, so we might see VK run a little further here. But again, I think we're gonna see the resumption of the game of no you lead that we've seen going on here, where nobody really seems to want the race lead here. So, yeah. Right now, though, working our way through. But, yeah, so right now, though, I'm going to say working our way through another side-by-side yellow. But, yeah, nothing major so far in terms of drivers needing to... Yeah, it's hard to really kind of tell what the winning strategy is going to be this early on, but I think the fact that you've got 3 McLarens kind of running together, 4th, 5th, and 6th there, I would be curious if those 3 don't potentially come up with a game plan to try and save fuel working together, potentially circling who's at the front of their little group, even though they're not all that far behind Ferrucci. So, oh, and there we go. Felix Rosenqvist just passed Ferrucci, so I guess maybe not the case here. So Santino Ferrucci sliding back to 4th here as Felix Rosenqvist rejoins his fellow front row starting guys in the top 3. Palou, VK, and Rosenqvist running right now exactly where they started the race. And say pretty much everything from beyond that, though, has been shuffled around a bit. Takuma Sato, Joseph Newgarden making his way up into that top 9. And there we go. VK making the pass on Palou here for the race lead. Again, I'm pretty sure that Palou just kind of let him by to try and save the fuel, but we'll have to wait and see on this one. Here we go. Ooh, Rossi and Award both just passed Ferrucci as well there, so I don't know if Ferrucci's got a wheel loose or something, but yeah, Ferrucci definitely starting to backslide, similar to what we saw from Scott Dixon at the start of this race. So we'll have to wait and see on this one, but so yeah, they're back from commercial break, and Ferrucci just passed Pato Award back, so I guess they caught him at a really bad time, but Pato Award able to kind of regain that there. Looked like Ward or Palou there was a little faster through the pit cycle and everything than I think that's Renus VK they're showing him compared to, which makes sense because those 2 have been your 1 and 2, and your only 2 guys so far to lead a lap. So here we go. So yeah, there we go. Ferrucci is kind of settled now into 5th. We'll have to see if he can keep that spot here. But yeah. Right now, though, yeah, I think a lot of people are just going to kind of settle in here. Next projected pit stops seems to be anywhere from 64 to 68 laps, or so lap 68, 64, something like that. So about 20 laps away. Oh, and they're talking with Kyle Larson. What is Kyle Larson doing in Indy right now? He's supposed to be in Charlotte.
Did I tell you anything about today?
It might. But yeah, might show that Charlotte's weather is not looking the most solid out there. But yeah. Now I know that next year he'll be in the Indy 500, which means he'll have to be there, obviously, and have to make the rocket trip. So maybe he's doing essentially a practice run of watching the full Indy 500 and then trying to get back. Because if he wins the Indy 500, it'll be really tough to get him through all the victory celebrations and everything, and then fly down to Charlotte to make it in time to start the NASCAR race. So, yeah. It's going to be a crazy month next year with Kyle Larson, though, in the Indy 500. Curious to see how he balances qualifying for the race versus the NASCAR All-Star race. Possibly we might see a backup or substitute driver there in the number 5. So we'll have to wait and see on that one, though. That's still almost a year out. But yeah, so we're currently working lap 46 here. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm thinking quite a bit of the same there, NASCAR fan. I think that in out is probably likely, but I'm here in Charlotte, and I'm waiting to see if we can maybe get a handle on the rain before it gets too late. I'd be okay if we even get the race started and maybe just wait it out. Because again, if we can at least start the race, that way we don't need as big a window on Sunday to try and get it in. One second, guys. Let me try and see if I can center this a little bit better. There we go. That's a little bit better on the centering. But yeah, and I say we'll have to wait and see because again they aren't going to make the call until my guess is around 8 o'clock is when we'll get the official confirmation on yes or no on whether or not we're going to see any action on track today at Charlotte. But yeah, the Coke 600 is not looking too promising in terms of happening today. But yeah. So yeah, they're talking about the pressure of driving for Roger Penske and no Indy 500 so far. And we just saw it pass. Pelot just took the lead back from Rinus VK. Oh, there we go. My leaderboard just updated. Okay, usually my leaderboard updates before I get to see the pass on the TV, but I guess this time the TV was a bit ahead. So yeah, they are really going back and forth, just kind of you lead some, I'll lead some, you lead some, I'll lead some. But yeah, so it's been a pretty fun time though here in Charlotte the last couple of days. Obviously, yesterday being a complete rainout wasn't the best. But got up to the NASCAR Hall of Fame, got to see some of that stuff. And then you got to see some trucks and ARCA racing on Friday. So got to see some racing, hoping to see a lot more though. We've still got Xfinity on Monday afternoon. But yep. So here we go. Let's see. Again, kind of everybody's settling in here. We're still about 14 laps out from the next round of green flag stops, and these are some of the best drivers on the planet, which should come to no surprise. They are handling these cars very well in terms of, as I say, we haven't really even seen a car out of control yet, loose outside of on pit road. We saw the 44 Catherine Legg being a little bit out of control there on pit road, but that's the only instance of a lack of control that we've seen all race long so far as we reach the 1/4 mark here in the Indy 500. So they go to another commercial break, another side-by-side commercial here. But yeah. So again, right now though, not a lot of on-track passing happening. A lot of that stuff will probably happen later on in the race. As I said, about halfway through the race, we expect to see kind of a change in the actual pace as to when they start going for the race win, as opposed to when they start going for the because right now they're mainly just trying to survive and make the fuel mileage to the end of the race. So yeah, there's like 3/10 of a second between each car here as they go to the start finish line. 3/10 of a second, and the gaps get a little bigger when you go a little further back. But I think the biggest gap inside the top 15 is Rossi to Rosenquist, which is 1.5 seconds, which is not very much in these Indy cars that are traveling at 220, 230, 240 miles an hour. Again, they're probably not running it at peak 230 mile an hour. I know they certainly aren't running peak lap times because they're only 220 lap averages so far. But yeah, so right now though, just kind of pacing their way around here. Kyle Kirkwood back up into the top 15. So yeah. And say, anyone else want to let me know their predictions for the Indy 500 here today, or even the Coke 600 whenever we get to that? So would love to hear who you guys think is going to win that one. For the Coke 600, I think it's going to be really hard to tell. I think qualifying being rained out gives us even less of an idea who, because we have no laps on track to compare up against here. But yeah, so they're coming back from commercial break and showing some of the action from earlier when the drivers from the Indy 500 took their truck rides around the grandstands to wave to everybody. But yeah, no changes up inside the top 15 for now. Let me look down the field a little bit further, see how some of these other guys are doing. So Scott Dixon's settled down in 21st position. Ray Hall is still 2 laps down here. Showing R.C. Anderson is 2 laps down too. I don't know what happened to Anderson because we have not heard anything about him. And then Catherine Legg appears to be potentially out of the race. 15 laps down here. But yeah, so Stingray Rob, Marco Andretti having some trouble here at the back of the field. So some rough days for some of those guys, but ultimately you gotta make it happen at the when it matters most here. Oh, Ferrucci just passed Alexander Rossi. So here we go. Not sure what did the TV just cut to just then. Is this an ad? Oh yeah, it's a Shell advertisement that they're cutting to.
The Bob Hawkers just gave an update.
Oh, weather update from Charlotte.
Weather update from Charlotte.
All right.
Forecasts say possible rain-ins between 7 and 8 p.m., but humidity and no wind could make track drying a serious challenge. NASCAR won't start much later than 9 p.m. because the targets end around 1:30. So
yeah,
there's lightning scheduled between 10 and 11. So
yeah, so we'll have to wait. So it's a lot of wait and see, but it seems like around 8 o'clock is when we'll kind of know for sure if getting racing tonight in is possible. But yeah, so Pato Award in the number 5 car, he just passed his teammate there in Alexander Rossi for 5th. So yep, just kind of making a couple passes here, but why did we end up going to a full screen commercial break now when we've had all those side by side commercial breaks? It's not like we're under yellow yet. But yeah. So yeah, so far though, not a lot of action in terms of actually, I feel like, real passes happening. Because a lot of these drivers, I feel like, are kind of waiting it out, and a lot of them kind of know that it isn't a good idea to try and race for much here early in the race, as we got a long way to go. But yeah. I'm going to really quickly go use the bathroom, and I will be right back. Oh, and of course, I come back from commercial break as soon as I go. And we got pit stops. So pit stops have begun. I saw Pelot pitting. I don't know who else may have hit there. So of course the pit window had to open earlier than expected. So, but yeah. So it looks like Ferrucci, Dixon, Calamilot on pit road here. Elio Castroneves on pit road as well. Not sure who else may be on their way down the pit lane, but yeah, it's an early pit stop here. And again, the worry is that if you keep pitting early, you may end up eventually adding a whole extra stop to your race compared to everybody else. So, yep, Colton Herta kind of cycling his way back up into that top 15, but he has just been in so much traffic today. I feel like anything above a 10th place finish would be a pretty big win for him. All right, so whatever Dixon had for an issue early on with the tires, it seemed to be a problem with one specific set of tires and not the full chassis, which is good because that means he won't have to fight that all day long. Marinas VK comes to pit road. Marinas VK, Takuma Sato, Connor Daly coming to pit road. Those three. Oh, Ryan Hunter-Reay joins them as well on pit road. So that moves Simon Pagenaud, Delvin DiFrancesco, Malukas up into the top 15. So, and again, a lot of names kind of cycling through, a lot of credit going out to a lot of these guys here. But yeah, so right now though, pit cycle for the Indy 500 has started. So yeah, right now we're just kind of waiting to see. I'm sure we're going to be seeing the McLaren guys here soon. They may again send them in two waves, the two sets of McLaren guys, but I think we'll have to wait and see on that one. Oh, Ed Carpenter came to pit road. So Ed Carpenter comes to pit road. And that promotes guys like Lundgaard and Augustine Canapino into the top 15 here. But yeah, all four. Oh, and here we go. Felix Rosenqvist, the first McLaren driver to pit. And Alexander Rossi follows him in. So again, they seem to be doing the two McLarens pit, two McLarens stay out strategy. Joseph Newgarden joins those three on pit road, or joins those two on pit road. So here we go. Oh, and Rins VK rejoins the track ahead of Alex Pelot this time. So there we go. So Ferrucci getting ahead of Marco Andretti there in the back of the pack. Meanwhile, Marinas VK is now projected to be your race leader once we get through this cycle of green flag stops as Pato O'Ward, Marcus Ericsson, Tony Kanaan, Scott McLaughlin, Felix Rosenqvist, Alexander Rossi, Joseph Newgarden, all on pit road here. So a lot of guys coming to pit road here. Will Power, Kyle Kirkwood, Colton Herta seeming to be the guys who aren't on pit road so far. Although it looks like the McLaren guys might have come out ahead here because I'm seeing Felix Rosenqvist actually stabilizing ahead of VK, though we'll have to wait and see here as it continues to level out. But yeah, if Rosenqvist can hold on to that top spot, though, that's a really good cycle of stops for him and his team. And here we go. Pato O'Ward, Will Power, Kyle Kirkwood, Tony Kanaan, Scott McLaughlin all on pit road. They should all be cycling further back here soon. Colton Herta leads the race as the only driver so far to not come to pit road here. Pagenaud, DiFrancesco also pitting. So, great lap there for Santino Ferrucci. Santino just turned his best lap of the race. But yeah, so a lot of strategy seems to be all over the board here as we hit lap 70 here. Seems like the next estimated pit stop for a lot of these guys is going to be around lap 100. So maybe a little before, maybe a little after. And considering the prediction has been a little over both times, I'm going to say somewhere around 90, 91 we'll probably see our next round of pit stops. Go about 30 laps, 30, 32 laps. Although, again, I think you're making a mistake to be pitting this early. Speaking of pitting, Colton Herta hits pit road, and I'm going to say Pato O'Ward and Felix Rosenquist now the race leaders here. Rinus VK back to 4th place here, so potentially we might end up seeing a pretty big shuffle here. But R.C. Anderson right now playing the roadblock here for the race leaders as they continue to try and stop him. It looks like Catherine Legg is officially out of the Indy 500 as she has climbed from her car. So here we go. Pato O'Ward goes to the lead over Felix Rosenquist here. So the two teammates kind of shuffling around the spots. Oh, okay. So it sounds like they are. So Catherine Legg and her team are going to try and get back out there. It's a steering rack issue. They're going to try and fix it and at least get out and turn some laps. Maybe to learn something for next year. But yeah, I'd say not a great way to be starting your Indy 500 off, though. But yeah, so Pato O'Ward and Felix Rosenquist both trailing R.C. Anderson right now. R.C. Anderson, the lap car at the head of the field. So yeah, R.C. Anderson, it's a weird situation for him because yeah, he's trying to stay on the lead lap, but at this point, it's kind of to the point where it's like, okay, you're so far back, unless you're basically banking on a yellow. And that's kind of the main reason why you play the roadblock game that he is to try and hope that they get a yellow flag at some point here, and that yellow flag offsets the speed that they are trying to hit on the track. So, because yeah, clearly they don't have the speed to stay on the lead lap. But if you can get a yellow, get bunched back up and get in the pack, similarly to say NASCAR, Daytona, or Talladega, a small team trying to make use of it. But yeah, so honestly, the Penske's doing pretty well actually. All 3 Penske's up inside the top 15, and 2 of them up inside the top 10. So they're slowly but steadily making their way forward. And speaking of making their way forward, Scott McLaughlin just passed Elio Castroneves for 12th there. So here we go. Another full screen commercial break. At least this time we know we're through a cycle of pit stops, so we're not going to miss the pit cycle here. But yeah. So this is the race, though. Indy 500 making their way around. Looking for the race. I'm going to say leader at halfway does not normally win the race. It's actually very rare that the leader at halfway does get it, but we'll have to wait and see if that can reign true and who will even be the leader at halfway today, as we have not hit, as we haven't hit the halfway mark quite yet. We're at 75 of 200 here. Let's see, of those 2 leaders, they've got, okay, the leaders have gotten clear of R.C. Anderson. I was actually kind of curious to see if the 2 lead cars are going to try and use Anderson to try and help them save fuel here early on, which is very likely that they would try and do that. Colton Herta making a pass on Elio Castro-Neves here for 13th, so Elio may be in a little bit of trouble here. Or at the very least, he's backsliding a little bit. But, yeah. Santino just made a pass on Alex Palou for the 4th position here. So here we go. Kanan and Kirkwood making their way up past Elio Castro-Neves for the 14th and 15th spots here. So Ferrucci is looking like a contender. We're gonna have to wait and see, but yeah, Santino Ferrucci looks like he could realistically go out here and win this race, which we have not seen from the from that team since, if I had to guess, probably the last time we saw them this fast and this much in contention was when Tony Kanaan was driving for them back in 2018, when he was probably the third best car behind Ed Carpenter and Will Power, who finished 1-2. Now, Kanaan didn't end up finishing that race because he suffered a blown tire at the midway point, and he ended up being the race's final caution in that race. But he was probably the second or third strongest car there. You could debate maybe he was better than Ed Carpenter. I probably wouldn't say that, but you could make that argument very easily back then. But yeah, so definitely one of the strongest runs, though, for the Foyt team in a long time at Indy. So yeah, curious to see what ends up happening, though, if these McLaren guys try and start playing the leapfrog game with each other to try and save some fuel for both of them, or if they think it. Oh, there we go. Yep. As I say it, there goes Felix Rosenqvist around his teammate in the number 5. So the number 5 goes back to second to save some fuel, and Felix Rosenqvist, now having saved a little bit of fuel, he jumps out to the lead. But yeah. So again, trying to play it safe and work together to try and make their way to the front of the field here. Oh, whoa, okay, that's why Elio Castro-Neves dropped so far back. He got really loose. Okay, so we're starting to see some handling issues from some of these drivers. Shocker that the 4-time Indy 500 champion would be the first guy we would see some handling issues from, but I guess if anyone knows where the limit of an IndyCar is, it would be him, because it takes driving it at the limit to win 4 of them, and especially being the last guy to win 2 in a row. But yeah, so here we go. We're working our way through this Indy 500, though. Welcome everybody to the chat who's tuned in and watching this one. Thank you guys for everybody that's stopped in. But yeah, so and we got a pass here. Ericsson gets passed here. But yeah, so Marcus Ericsson just got passed by Joseph Newgarden, I believe is what I saw for a change there. Hard to really see because of the angle of the TV, but I'm going to say Colton Herta's made his way up further than he has been most of the day. Same with Connor Daly. So a couple of drivers we hadn't seen move in towards the front today. Oh, there we go. Pato O'Ward makes the pass on Rosenqvist, and Santino Ferrucci passes Rinus VeeKay here. So Santino up to 3rd here. And the 2 McLaren cars trade positions here to start to kind of keep it going here. Again, we're expecting the next round of pit stops in about 10 laps or so. The TV is going to commercial break, but we are staying here. Uninterrupted coverage of the Indianapolis 500. So, yep. But yeah, definitely But yeah, so looking forward to seeing Tony Kanaan here in his final Indy 500. Although I'm actually kind of hoping it's not his final one because he's looked very competitive this entire month. Now, if he can't get a competitive ride, like if he can't drive for McLaren or Ganassi for the next year, I can understand him not coming back because he doesn't have anything to prove in terms of starting the race. It's just about trying to rack up another win here. And is that R.C. Anderson or is that the 44 car coming back out onto the track? I can't really tell, and they're both red and white cars here. Let's see. Any chance you can help me with telling me which car number?
I don't know where the car numbers are.
Oh, okay.
And I couldn't see it.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, it doesn't help when there's like 4 or 5 red and white cars out there. Yeah, so it looks like that was R.C. Anderson, and he's in the pits. He's now lost about 10, 11 laps here. So, yeah, R.C. Anderson in a little bit of trouble here to start the as we get closer and closer to this end of the top 5. But yeah, so right now though, yeah, a lot of changes happening around here at the front. But Ferrucci looking very strong, and Chevy as a whole starting to look like Chevy may have the speed back compared to the Hondas. Only 3 Hondas in the top 10, all 3 from Ganassi, and only 1 Honda in the top 5, and that is a Honda in 5th place. So definitely a long way back. The first Honda that isn't a Ganassi car is Colton Herta in 12th place. So you got. So yeah, that's a lot of Chevy power near the front of the field here. But yeah. Yeah, so the teammate's still playing that teammate game. Looks like Pato, or looks like, is that a Ward out in front? No, that looks like, have they caught a lap car? There's some car out in front that, let me see. Oh yeah, that's Jack Harvey in the number 30 car here that's about to get lapped. I thought that was Rosenquist for a minute with the orange color, mixing me up with the McLarens, but yeah. So Pato Award coming up on more lap traffic here. Lap traffic usually ends up being a pretty easy time to see some passes. And again, we're starting to enter pit road consideration. Here in about 2 or 3 laps, we'll start to see maybe some of these guys who've been pitting earlier. So your guys like Santino, Renus, VK, Polo, we might start to see looking for pit road here early. But yeah, right now though, I would say that Jack Harvey, they'll probably let Jack Harvey lead all the way through to the start of the pit cycle because they don't necessarily, they want the extra car to help break some of that air for them. Now, of course, if his speed is going to cost them a ton of time, yeah, they'll go on by him. But if they can use him, they won't just move right on past him too quickly. Oh, R.C. Anderson out of the race as well with some sort of issue that they haven't diagnosed yet. What? Was that Ferrucci just making another pass? No. Might have been a pass on a lap car. Kind of hard to tell, but there we go. Rosenquist makes the pass here on Award, so the teammates continuing to leapfrog, and okay, it looks like they finally passed. They finally passed the number 30 car there of Jack Harvey. So that's the pass I saw happening. And Alexander Rossi takes the spot from Alex Palou. Connor Daly passing Colton Herta, and oh, whoa. Did Sato pit? What happened to Takuma Sato? Did he just pit? Because he's no longer inside the top 15. Which I hope.
He is number 15.
Huh?
He is number 15.
Oh. Not on my leaderboard. It's showing it. Ed Carpenter in 15th. Oh, and Carpenter and Kirkwood to pit road. Yeah. Yeah, so Kyle Kirkwood.
Sideways.
Oh, yep. We got a spin, and that's a yellow. Yellow flag is out here for the first time in the Indy 500. Curious to see if which car is that? Color? Can you at least tell colors?
Green and white.
Oh, that might be the number 11 then.
ELF.
Oh no, that's Stingray Rob. That's the Rick Ware Racing car. Shocker to see Rick Ware Racing involved in a crash, right? But so bummer to see Stingray Rob's race end here, but yep. So Stingray Rob ends up being out of the race here with a spin and crash, and he ends up being the first caution here, and that will change the pace here of this Indy 500. We were kind of waiting to see when this first caution would happen. Stingray Rob just brought it out. So 2 of your 4 Indy 500 rookies out, so potentially rookie of the race is going to come down to Benjamin Peterson and Dave Malukas here. But so now Rosenquist is your leader as we get the yellow flag, and as this takes us past the halfway mark, I think this very well we might see this start to kick off the shift in pace from worrying about fuel mileage to worrying about running for the lead to an extent. You may still see a little bit of that leapfrogging effect, but this will definitely level off a lot of the playing field. Whether or not Sato got to pit road before the yellow came out is going to be another thing. Is whether or not, because if he got there before the yellow and didn't lose a lap, he may be your race leader here when we go green. We'll have to wait and see, but same thing with Ed Carpenter. If Ed and Kirkwood got down there, because they're up quite a ways as well. But we'll have to wait and see on that one though. Because this Indy 500 though, no doubt, first caution always tends to change up the kind of the pace and the energy of the 500. Sometimes we see the first yellow come very early while they're trying to get everything sorted, and other times we will see it go clean to like the 150 mile mark or lap mark. I mean, I think it was it 2013 or something that had it was one of those right around the turn of the new car where we saw, I think it was either 2013 or 2014 where we saw the race go from lap 1 to lap 150 something without a yellow. So one of the longest green flag periods in the race's history. But so all things said and done, though, here, we're continuing this one on. We have the yellow flag out, and everybody's pitting. So they're cleaning up the marbles, which is going to widen the racetrack out here. And, yep, everybody's on pit road. Pato Award, Ferrucci, Rosenquist, and BK are the four that they're showing up on the split screens here. Curious to see what Callum Ilot's doing, because it looks like Callum Ilot may have stayed out here. If Ilot did stay out, it'll be... Let's say, did he get to pit road? Oh yeah, he pit 3 laps before the yellow flag came out. So, oh, we got issues in the pits. Issues in the pits here. I say, who was that? Looked like VK, and who was that? Plo? Say, is it? Let's say it's a blue car. Is it number 10? Yep, number 10. That's Alex Plo involved here. So Alex Plo, let's see what happened here. Okay, so VK spun the wheels coming off pit road and just took out Alex Plo under no fault of Plo's. And really, I don't think, outside of spinning the tires, I don't think there was much, outside of being a little careful on the exit of pit road. I don't know if there's anything Rena's VK could have done to anticipate or save that car at that point. I mean, it's just such a tight pit road. You don't really have room to make a mistake without taking out 4 or 5 cars.
I got one.
Yeah. Yeah, if that car had spun up the track, though, if it had spun the other way, you pile up literally probably 15, 20 cars. Which for a race that only started 13 or 33 cars, that'd be very big. But, yep, so Callum Ilott is your race leader right now. Callum Ilott in the number 77 car. We haven't really heard much from him today, but here we go. So, yeah, we've had now the race's first yellow. And we are getting ready for a pretty good one here. Just waiting to see what we got. But, yep. It's a pretty good race, though, so far, honestly. For the Indy 500, again, we kind of expected that it would get into lockstep here for the first half. Looking to see if there's any other major shakeups down the field in terms of people who maybe either lost time or lost positions due to that wreck. But it looks like Plo is obviously the big loser. Where did the question is going to be is, does VK have any trouble that he has to take care of? Because he's currently showing in 8th place. So if he doesn't have any trouble on that car, he may be able to restart all the way up in 8th place. I'd be shocked if he doesn't get an avoidable contact penalty, though, and end up getting sent to the rear of the field. I mean, if I'm IndyCar, I think you probably have to give the avoidable contact penalty based on precedent, but I don't know. I'm curious to see what they rule. But, yeah, this is almost certainly an avoidable contact penalty for the 21 car. Because, yeah. And also considering, again, precedent, we've seen almost any contact on pit road resulting in those types of penalties recently. So, all right, they're back from commercial break, which means we actually get some views of the track here and get an idea, but we're going to be back to racing here momentarily. Hopefully you guys are as excited for the end of this race as I am, because this race definitely building some excitement here. But I'm curious to see what Callum Ilott does here in the front of the field. If he spins the tires, you can see a lot of people trying to jump here. But yeah, you saw a lot of cars sliding their back ends out. And then Renus VK ended up being the only one to hit somebody from it. But you saw at least 3-4 cars do the almost exact same thing that Renus VK did. And they're back to another commercial break. But yeah, I mean, there were a lot of cars kind of playing Formula Drift there. And again, you take that many throws at a dartboard, even a blind guy might hit a bullseye. But yeah, so we're expecting next round of pit stops probably will be around lap. Let's see. Yeah, so we're expecting next set of pit stops will probably be somewhere around lap 130, maybe even 125. But again, we'll have to wait and see because laps under caution will not burn as much fuel. So the further they go under the yellow here, the more we might see it here. But yep, so here we go. And so this race just had a pretty major turn though. Now that probably one of the strongest cars, if not the strongest car in the field, is out of it, and potentially your front row, another front row starter may be starting at the rear of the field, depending on. You know, we're still waiting for the official word, but I'm assuming that will be a tail in the longest line for avoidable contact on the 21 car, which will promote Tony Kanaan back up into the top 10. So nice to see Kanaan getting, again, staying right around that 10th place in point, or not in points, but in the standings here as we go further and further. But, yep. So. Right now, definitely anticipating, though, that Callum Ilott at the front of the field is going to change something here. Because Callum Ilott, not exactly who you would consider the most on-pace car, certainly not this year. And right now they're showing the drivers who've started to win. And we've yet to have a repeat winner this year. And nobody, but showing the people ready Force for Good Challenge, the first driver to win an oval, road course, and street course on the year. Will get a bonus amount of cash. So far, Newgarden's already got his oval credit. Everybody else, so in the field, could be potentially looking for that oval credit to add to their attempt, which we don't have many ovals, so. Oh, we got more contact in the pits, potentially? Oh, yep, someone hit a tire coming into the pit box. I don't know. I think he might have pulled into the wrong pit box at first, so that's not good. Hopefully. Yes, it was Lundgaard hitting one of his own tire people. Didn't hit the person, by the way. Only hit the tire, so that's good. But again, we're still waiting to hear if Renus VK is going to get an avoidable contact penalty. I would assume yes on this one. And that was definitely, I would say, pretty close to a textbook definition of avoidable contact for the incident on pit road there. I mean, we saw 3 or 4 drivers further back in the field have the same type of issue spinning on or getting sideways on pit road. And all of them avoided contact, so. But, yeah, Renus VK still being scored, though, 8th place here, so I guess we'll see. Yeah. And here we go, getting ready to go green. green flag is out at the halfway mark here. Into lap 100 and start at 101. So they keep VK up in 8th. So I guess no avoidable contact penalty for him. I thought for sure that there would be an avoidable contact penalty for that. They're passing. I didn't think you were supposed to be passing before this line, but there you go. Green flag is out, and they're racing here at Indy, and they are 3 wide here entering turn 1. So it definitely seems like the pace of the race has been picked up here. So Felix Rosenquist, he got around Ilott pretty quickly, but Ilott holding on to second here as Joseph Newgarden settles into 6th place here. Renus VK moving up. Tony Kanaan moving up, and someone has to have been moving pretty far back because VK, Herta, Rossi, Kanaan, Daly, Ed Carpenter, Kirkwood, and Sato all gained a spot, and that was McLaughlin going backwards. So Scott McLaughlin going way far back. We got guys going side by side, swerving at each other all throughout the field here. 3, 4 wide. So that was Kyle Kirkwood trying to gain some spots there by going 4 wide. With Carpenter, looked like Sato probably there. So Erickson and Erickson and Ferrucci battling it out, and Pato O'Ward gets to the race lead. Callum Ilott back to 3rd place here, and Rosenquist drops to 2nd here. But Pelot's not out of the race. Pelot's up to 19th. He's still on. I didn't even realize I didn't realize he was able to get this thing and stay on the lead lap, but he's still in this thing. So maybe we'll see. And now we see. Here we go. Penalty for Renus VK for avoidable contact, I'm assuming. But so that's a pass-through penalty under green, I guess they decided to go with instead of the tail end of the field under the yellow. So more costly for VK than the penalty I thought was going to hit. But again, kind of glad, at least in terms of a consistency standpoint, that they did make the call, because I think that they definitely needed to. But So Erickson was also 3 wide in the middle there at one point. Joseph Newgarden up to 5th. Where did he come from? Santino Ferrucci up to 3rd, though. Callum Ilott, he's going to start to fall back, but as long as he can maintain somewhere inside the top 15, I think he's okay, because he's not been in the top 15 all day. So Alexander Rossi making a few passes there, up to 8th. But so let's say it's a chaotic race so far. But it's now kind of become the long snake that we normally see slithering down the front and back stretch as they try and break the draft from each other. $420,000 extra dollars if you can win back-to-back. Okay. That's pretty impressive. But, I don't know if we'll see that end up happening, but... and now they're going to... So, Stingray Rob talking about the wreck. Good to see that he's out the car and okay. Callum Ilott continuing to circle back. Continuing to cycle his way further back. Newgarden up to 4th. Marcus Ericsson up inside the top 5. So Ilott is now falling outside of the top 5 here. Connor Daly passes Kanaan there for 9th. But Joseph Newgarden, and he is this series' oval meister as it goes here. But yeah. The Indy 500, though, it is this race is definitely an endurance, not a sprint here. I'm curious to see, though, what we see from Ericsson here. He is the top Honda. You're running 5th. Huh? All right, so they're now looking at the start here. All right, so they're looking at the restart for.
What you were complaining about,
Hmm?
they were passing while you were
Yeah, before the line.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, on the initial start of IndyCar races, you can't pass before the line, but you can pass as soon as you get the green. As soon as the green flag waves, you can pass on every restart except for the original start. Apparently, I always forget about that one because we don't see it happen very frequently. There isn't a lot of difference in time between green flag waving and most of the field hitting the start finish line, but yeah. So Rossi makes the pass on Calamilot as they go to commercial break. Side-by-side commercial up on the TV, so hopefully we won't miss too much, although again, I can barely see it. But yeah, Colton Hurd up into the top 10. Nice to see him having some success here. Scott Dixon, welcome back to the top 15. And Felix Rosenquist just passed Pato Award here for the top spot. I'm going to see if turning on that light over the TV makes it easier to see because it is really dark on that far side. It doesn't really do anything in terms of better or worse. We're trying to see the TV. Sato passed Ed Carpenter there for 12th while I was doing that. So, yep. Curious to see how far down did VK go, because I passed through penalty on pit lane. He wouldn't have lost a lap, but is he tail end? Yeah, he's last car on lead lap in 28th place, so he's quite a ways down. So, yeah, here we go. So, Ilott continuing to backslide. He's currently in 8th place here. Curious to see how long he manages to hold off. Oh, and there we go. Connor Daly passes Callum Ilott, as I was talking about, how long he was going to be able to hold off Daly for. Now, I guess the question is, how long can Ilott hold off Kirkwood here? Because there's not a long gap between the two of them either. But yeah, so we're coming up though. We're about 10, 15 laps off of when I expect to see the next round of green flag stops. But now that we've kind of leveled off, we may not see the early pit stops like we had been seeing, because it kind of resets the fuel for everybody. So for everybody that was short pitting to try and, because they short pit on the first stop. So here we go. Not a lot of changes at the front of the field, but I'm sure there's still some action somewhere once we get back from this commercial break, which we are coming back from right now, it looks like. But yeah, so Award passed. Did Award pass Rosenquist again? Yeah, Pato Award back out in front of the Indy 500 according to the TV. Yep, and there we go. My leaderboard just updated. So So, yeah, there we go. Pato O'Ward just retook the lead. So, again, just kind of playing the leapfrog game for a little while longer because, again, you want to try and make it as far as possible and try and make it a contest just between the two McLarens if you can at all avoid it. Because the more cars involved in the fight, the more chance that McLaren doesn't win the 500 here. But, yep. There we go. Oh, whoa! What the 66 was diving in there. I'm guessing that must have been on McLaughlin there. Yeah, so that must have been a replay from earlier on that when Kanaan passed Scott McLaughlin. Yep, Scott McLaughlin here is the yellow car they're riding on board with. How do you not lose control of that thing going 220 plus miles an hour in the four wheels in the grass? World's fastest lawnmower. Yeah, I would say that's pretty accurate. You probably don't see many lawnmowers going over 220 miles an hour. But, yeah. There we go. Kanaan actually losing a spot here to Takuma Sato, and Kirkwood passing quite a few cars here. So Kyle Kirkwood going from from 12th to 9th here as Callum Ilott continues to drift further back. He's now in 10th with Takuma Sato in behind him. So, yep, just kind of managing the gap here again. Ilott, as long as he can stay somewhat close to the front, I think he knows that it's going to be a fuel save if he wants to really win this race. But hey, staying inside that top 10 gives you the best shot you can to potentially even fight your way for it. Makes it a lot easier to fuel save if you're further back in the pack, though. So here we go. Newgarden up inside that top 5. He's keeping pace with right about where he wanted to be in his pre-race comments about kind of your pace of the race and wanting to be making that same gap. So here we go. Oh, and Felix Rosenquist passed Ward back. We didn't even say. I don't think the broadcast booth even gave much of a notice to that. But Rosenquist went and passed Pato Ward back for the lead. Continuing kind of that leapfrog motion. Curious to see what Kanaan and what happens between Kanaan and Sato, because I feel like that is a recipe for a yellow here at some point. With because both of those drivers are known for driving essentially as aggressive as humanly possible. But yeah. Saying, especially with a slow car like Callum Ilott in front of them, or slower because he's on, he is on slightly older tires here. But yeah, curious to see how that ends up going with Sato right in behind him. So here we go. So Pelot is making his way back through the field. He might be in the top 15 here soon. So Pelot is currently, oh wow, Pelot is up to 17th here. So Alex Pelot But yeah, I'm curious to see what ends up happening here. Is Palo's story going to be the coming from wrecked into potentially victory lane? Because I didn't think he was going to continue in that race, let alone be able to pass and contend here. But yeah, I think count on my lot. He's going to be slow and holding up Sato and Kanan, and I'm hoping that they don't end up crashing. But there's a reason why Takuma Sato's slogan is "No attack, no chance." So he will do something. But this early in the race, I think he understands that we're not quite in win the race mode quite yet, especially as we're actually entering pit road window. As soon as we get back from this side-by-side commercial, I would expect us to start seeing some pit stops, if we haven't already. Some of the guys further back. Oh, and there we go. Pato O'Ward and Rosenquist just traded the lead again. So, Felix Rosenquist back to the race lead. Pato O'Ward took it back at some point there for a minute. And then Rosenquist takes it back. Doesn't seem like they're taking about even amount of time out front. It seems like now maybe Rosenquist is getting better fuel mileage, and that's why they're putting him out front more, is because he can make it further on one tank without saving. But yeah, curious as to that one. But yeah, so you'll have to wait. We'll have to wait and see though for these this next round of pit stops. This one will be key because we're going to be entering the one stop remaining window here. So about one more. Yeah, if we pit, if they pit at say lap 30, then they pit around 160. 40 lap run to the checkers is going to be tight. So ideally, you'd maybe even want to go. Yeah, I think it's going to be hard to find a one stopper from here. From this next stop, so you make a pit stop around. You'd want to pit around 140, 150 if you want to try and make it on one stop here, or on two stops theoretically. So you'd make your first stop at 140, and then you'd run to 170 and then to the checkers. So yeah, I think 140 would be your mark that you'd want to hit if you're trying to fuel mileage this. You'll see. I think you should see somebody trying to absolutely stretch it to 170 or to 140. We're currently working 126 here, and I think you will start to see some pit stops happening eventually here. Alexander Rossi just passed his former teammate Colton Herta, and Takuma Sato finally gets around Kyle Milot. But yeah, I would be shocked here if we don't see a driver potentially try and save it to lap 40, lap 140. But yeah, so Tony Kanaan though. Honestly, Tony Kanaan battling with Takuma Sato is going to be a really fun one because of the fact that that's actually the car that Kanaan was sitting in last year when he got his top 5 at the Indy 500. So if he finishes behind it, I think the question mark is that, did he really hold that car back some? Although obviously a year of development probably affects it more than a driver change from Indy 500 winner to Indy 500 winner. So yeah. So again, they're just kind of trying to work the laps here. But Callum Ilott, I think, is actually managing his race very well. Oh, and Callum Ilott comes pit road. He pitted a little earlier. So did Ed Carpenter. Ed Carpenter also coming to pit road here. As I was checking down the leaderboard a little further. So we got some guys coming to pit road for their for their stops here. Again, I think if you are trying to fuel mileage your way into a Indy 500 win, you try and go 10 laps more. If you can give me 10 more laps, I can give you a shot at this Indy 500 win. Now, getting 10 more laps out of it is going to be tough. Pato O'Ward to pit road. So Pato O'Ward comes to pit road first out of the McLaren cars, and it looks like he might be pitting alone because all the other McLaren cars staying on track. But yeah, so far not a lot of pit stops, but kind of surprised to see Pato O'Ward pitting all by himself. I thought at least one other McLaren car would go with him to go with the whole no man left behind mentality. Oh, and somebody else comes to pit road there, it looks like. Oh, I know that's a replay. That's showing O'Ward's pit stop. Marcus Ericsson passes Joseph Newgarden for third. But yeah, again, if I'm one of these cars further back in the pit cycle, if I'm someone who feels like my shot to win the Indy 500 is on fuel, again, stretch it to 140, and then we'll see what you can do from there. It's not very comfortable, but. Tony Kanaan pits from 13th. So Tony Kanaan comes to pit road. So here we go. Again, I would be shocked if nobody tries it, but right now I'm a little surprised that we're seeing almost everybody trying to save further. I mean, I guess that's one way to try and, oh, and there we go. Rosenquist, Daly, McLaughlin, Pagenaud pitting. So we got more pit stops coming in here. But, okay, they're talking about pitting at 134 being comfortable to make it on one stop, which I guess that would be in the window. I kind of was erring on the side of caution of hitting earlier or hitting later and trying to make sure that you aren't going to run out of fuel. But yeah, again, if that's not possible, oh, Ferrucci, Newgarden, Herta, Kirkwood, Sato, Dixon, Hunter-Reay, Grosjean, all coming to pit road here. Ferrucci is, I don't know if I mentioned Ferrucci the first time around, but Ferrucci is also down there. But yeah, a lot of pit stops happening here. Yeah, 68 laps, that is a long way. I mean, that would be going 34 laps on both cycles, and we've yet to see anyone really go 34 laps today. Here comes Marcus Ericsson to pit road, and Alexander Rossi. Ericsson and Rossi, the numbers 7 and 8, coming to pit road. Palou coming to pit road from third. David Malukas comes to pit road. Delvin DeFrancesco. Christian Lundgaard coming to pit road. Will Power. So here we go. Let's see where everybody cycles around to. Elio Castroneves so far looks like he's the lone wolf potentially that hasn't pit yet. Oh, contact! Grosjean and Herta make contact in the pits. That's not good. So, looked like Herta may have overshot his pit stall and then kind of covered over the pit entry for Grosjean, who wanted to come. Oh, yep. So, he overshot it first off. So, they had to back him up. Then, when they went to release him, they released him just as his teammate was coming into the box right in front of him. And, man, that is not good for Grosjean and Herta. That's going to put both of them behind the 8 ball for any sort of good finish here. Elio Castroneves comes to pit road now. So here we go. Elio Castroneves comes to pit road. They're talking about contact in the pit road always being a penalty. I'm not certain that that's always the case, but definitely in this case, avoidable contact for the 26. I think that's a no-brainer penalty there. Surprised to see a Ward fell so far back. I guess pitting by himself really kind of killed his ability to make pace on those out laps. After the laps after he came off pit road there. Ed Carpenter, though, up quite a few spots. Looks like he may have, he got a pretty quick pit stop in. But, yeah. So nobody trying to go to lap 140, which was kind of my magic number. Elio, though, so far, he went the furthest. So if Elio can go a little long on this stop, then a little over 30 laps, he could potentially be in position for this race win, though, when we get to the end of the day, and in position for win number 5, which nobody has ever gotten 5 Indy 500 wins, so for a driver to be in position to potentially do that, we may be seeing history today. But, yeah. Man, a lot of action so far in this race. Ericsson to the race lead. What? Marcus Ericsson takes the race lead from Felix Rosenqvist. Again, with how late we're getting in the race, it seems weird to give the lead to someone who isn't a teammate here in order to try and save fuel. Again, you still need to save some fuel, but you don't want to give it to a team that isn't your teammate in case you aren't able to pass him back later. Then Joseph Newgarden in 3rd, Rossi up to 4th place here, Santino Ferrucci rounding out the top 5. And then you got Kyle Kirkwood and Takuma Sato in 9th and 10th, keeping some of that balance between the Hondas and Chevys, although it's a 7-3 advantage in terms of the top 10 in the Chevy and Honda. Alex Palou just set his best lap of the race. I think there's plenty for the rest of the Indy 500 field to be worried about here. So, yeah, it looks like a pass-through penalty under green was what was issued to the 26, by the way. So, yeah, I think he lost a lap on that penalty, mainly because of the time he lost in the pits as well. But, yeah, the Indy 500, though, there's been a lot of passing despite this car not really having the best passing capability, and Joseph Newgarden to 2nd. So Joseph Newgarden all the way up into that 2nd position here. The McLaren car is starting to fade maybe a little bit. Defending winner, though, Marcus Ericsson, he is up into 1st place, so he's in position for that extra almost $500,000 for getting the back-to-back win. And Palou up into the top 10. So, yeah. So, this final stop, you want to pit around lap 170. You want to be able to make it to 170 for this final stop. After that, it's full green. But, yeah, I'm curious to see how this goes. But, yep. So, here we go. So, they're going to commercial break yet again here. And Kirkwood, Palou also gaining a spot here. Connor Daly sliding a little further back. But yeah, I'm curious to see who ends up being in position to win this thing by the end of it. But yeah. But yeah, so here we go. Again, seeing Plo up in that top 10 after what happened to him earlier, pretty impressive. And we got Dixon in back up into 12th position. So we got some good runs going here. But yeah, so Willpower, Ryan Hunter Ray showing up into the top 15 for the first time in a while, it feels like, outside of the pit windows. Where we've seen those pit windows happening. But yep, so here we go. I got that done. Let's see, they're back from commercial break, which is nice. Whew, man, it's getting warm in here, and we're getting ready for the final 50 laps of the race. Pato Award passes Ferrucci for 5th, so we're making some progress here. Okay, so Herta is still on the lead lap. Okay. Nice to see Colton Herta staying on the lead lap after that penalty, but I did not think he was going to be able to. I thought he was going to get lapped early. So here we go. Let's see, Callum Ilott making the pass on Will Power here for 13th place. All right, so but yeah, I'm curious to see where everybody ends up going. So let's see, projected pit stop laps. I'm seeing some guys 2-3 laps short of the 30 to go mark on the projected pit stop lap. And we've seen those be a little short or a little long compared to what they actually do. I think here, though, we might see them accurate, if not maybe even stretched a little further. So I think you could see Ericsson, Newgarden, or Rosenquist potentially stretch it all the way to the distance needed. But again, we'll see. Long way to go still. Pato Award didn't get his car full of fuel either? Oh boy, that's massively not good because he pitted pitted about 3-4 laps earlier than everybody else and didn't get his car full. Oh boy. Yeah, there's no chance that Award makes it to the end then on that, or makes it within the window. Unless he can really stretch that final window if he can get it absolutely full. But, yeah, that's going to be really tough. So, yeah, I mean, right now, though, that top 15 looking pretty steady. And we're kind of waiting to... Oh, we got a yellow flag. What's the yellow for? We got a spinner or a crash? There's a yellow flag out. I'm just waiting to see the cause of it. This yellow, this changes everything because we got 50 laps to go. We're two. So, oh, Romain Grosjean is around. So Romain Grosjean goes around, and that's gonna be the yellow flag flying. So, again, interesting because we are not in the window, so you can't make it from here to the end on this stop. But yeah, Romain Grosjean definitely out the race with how those rear tires are bent, but I'm not sure what caused it. I'm guessing contact with the wall. We'll just have to wait and see if anyone forced him into it or if that's just a mistake by him. But yeah, so I think you'll see a lot of people maybe fill up here, and now you can go full rich all the way to the end, so you won't see a fuel mileage gamble. And yeah, he just pushed wide, so it was all Romain Grosjean on that one. No one else to blame. So, yep, here we go. Let's see what we got going on here. And say, looking through the top 10. Because again, now that we've got a caution here and we know we got one more stop, but we can also run full rich the entire way, there's no real worry in terms of the actual fuel mileage. Because nobody can make it from here. Pretty convinced on that one. Unless this is a really long cleanup, which it doesn't look like it will be for the Grosjean car. So, unfortunately, I think some of those guys who tried to stay long on that last run, guys like Elio Castroneves, are going to get kind of burnt by that. But, yeah, rough day for them. Hopefully, weather is looking a little bit better. Let's take a quick little peek. No, it's still raining out there, so. Yep, still raining out in Charlotte, which is not going to be good for the hopes of our of the Cup race getting in today. We've still got a few hours for them to make the call, but yeah, it is not looking hopeful right now. And yeah, here we go. Paddle Award, Carpenter, Sato, Ilott, Power, Hunter Ray are the guys inside the top 15 that are pitting here. So we got some guys potentially trying to stay out and see if they can get some of that clean air and take advantage of that. So that is I probably would have stayed out here because clean air has been such a factor. Now, obviously, if you've been struggling on your tires, or if you don't like this set of tires, if there's a bit of a vibration or something, yeah, maybe you come and get them. But you want to try and get out of the dirty air because we've seen it be tough to pass. But yeah, a lot of contenders coming to pit road here. But yeah, everybody will have one green flag stop. But again, the guys who are getting fresh fuel and tires here can absolutely send it. The guys who are on the older tires now, they're going to be a little bit slower. And they're going to be trying to make their way through. But yeah, so let me know who you guys think is going to win this 500 here. as we get down to the end. You got defending winner Marcus Ericsson leading this thing. You got Joseph Newgarden here in second. Third place, you got Felix Rosenquist fourth, Alexander Rossi, and in fifth place, my pick for the race win, Santino Ferrucci. Then you've got Kirkwood, Pillow, Daly, Award, and Dixon. It looks like the top five. That seems a little weird because I thought Award pit, but it looks like Pat Award is showing in ninth place, so or eighth place. Oh wait, no, there we go. Now it's updating. So Daly, Dixon, Pagano, DiFrancesco are some of those guys in the back half of the top 10. Lundgaard up into 12th here. Potentially we might see imagine if we see a Ray Hall car get bumped from the field and another Ray Hall car end up winning the race. That would be definitely a tale of 2 months for the Ray Hall team. But we'll have to wait and see on that one though, because there's a lot of things still to go between the this restart and the remainder of the race. But we're gonna say they're making progress though. But so far though, this Indy 500 is going pretty well. So they're not having too many issues in terms of the actual cars staying on the track. Like the actual crash rate's been remarkable here. But waiting to see this green flag come out. So it looks like the top 12 stayed out, and the rest of them all came to pit road. So Pato Award, Takuma Sato, and Carpenter are your top three on new tires, and then Ericsson, Newgarden, and Rosenquist are your top three on the old tire strategy. So next Sunday, the Indy cars go to the streets of Detroit. Meanwhile, NASCAR heads to Gateway for their next race for the Cup cars and the trucks. But I'm curious to see what the new Detroit layout ends up doing in terms of the race. Now it's only one race in Detroit, not a double header like it has been in previous years. So potentially the first race won't be used as a practice session because there is no second race. So but so right now though, it's gonna be a long day for a lot of these guys, I think. So still over 40 laps to go. I don't know if you're definitely going to need a pit stop, but I think pretty much everybody though is in the window now to make it to lap 70 or beyond on this run. So Catherine Legg was kind of the start of the cars kicking around on the pit lane. But then we saw like 4 cars do it on the very next round of stops with VK, as well as like 4 other cars that we didn't really name because they didn't end up hitting anybody. But So yeah, they're going through all the different things that have happened this race, and oh, here we go. Green flag is out. Green, green, green. Green flag is out, and they are able to start passing here. So let's see. Now we kind of know that they're allowed to start passing before the line, because that was the thing I wasn't sure of on the last restart. But here we go. 3 wide into turn number 1. Is that Rossi, or is that... No, that's Ferrucci going to the front. Santino Ferrucci going 3 wide around the outside for third there. So yeah, now Rossi, Rosenquist. I was gonna say, that was 2 McLarens that Santino will end up leapfrogging over here. And Joseph Newgarden leads the Indy 500. He is looking for his first Indy 500 win, despite being one of the series' most prolific drivers and most prolific oval driver for sure for the last 5-10 years now almost. In fact, yeah, we're coming up on almost... He's been in IndyCar as a whole for almost 10 years, so. And he's been driving for Penske since 2015, I think. 2016, something like that was his first year at Penske. Or no, 2017 was his first year at Penske, so. Still, very much, he's become a veteran of this series and a veteran on the ovals for sure that everybody looks at when we go to them, especially Iowa. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see how this goes 40 laps from now. But him and Ericsson are fighting it out there at the front. Ferrucci up to second over Newgarden. So Ferrucci goes and passes Newgarden too? What? Oh boy. Hopefully nothing went wrong with Newgarden's car here. And Ferrucci to the race lead. Santino Ferrucci just took the race lead from Marcus Ericsson here. So, Santino Ferrucci leading at Indy for AJ Foyt. Here we go. I'm starting to look like I might actually know what I'm talking about in terms of Santino for the race win. But, yeah, I definitely don't. Felix Rosenquist making a pass on his teammate Alexander Rossi there for 4th, so a lot of passes happening here in a very short space of time. But, there we go. Everything's starting to stabilize here. Palou up into 7th here. I know we saw someone in the chat there cheering on Palou. So, hopefully that's looking pretty good here. But, yeah, so Santino Ferrucci, though, leading for AJ Foyt at the Indianapolis 500 here. So, let's see. How far can Santino go? We will have to wait and see. But Kirkwood 6th. Looking around kind of for some of the other storylines. Kyle Milot after that pit gamble the last time. He is currently in 15th place here. So, making something happen here. No, they were part of that group that pitted at that most recent yellow. Oh, whoa, what the? 3-4 wide there. Colton Herta down there on the, pretty much on the grass. Yeah, he is on the grass there making the pass on what looked like Pagenaud. It looked like Pagenaud. It wasn't Pagenaud. That must have been Elio Castroneves that Colton Herta was passing then. Yep. Yeah, so that was Elio that Herta was passing there, so. Yeah, kind of a little disappointing to see the 3-car kind of buried in all that traffic too, but so let's see. So yeah, that was Colton Herta making the pass. He moved up to 19th there on that move. Marinas VK up to 18th. I'm curious what ends up happening if VK and Palou end up battling this one late in the race. charge up my earbud for a little bit, and we got ourselves a race. So Scott McLaughlin battling with Christian Lundgaard in the back half of the field. So here we go. Kyle Kirkwood made the pass on Alexander Rossi there as well for position. Okay. Good to see Kirkwood with some speed there. But, yeah, so right now, though, so they went to commercial break, and we are kind of single-filed out for now, so we're just kind of waiting it out, seeing what happens. So we're expecting to go another 5 to 10 laps before we start to see everybody kind of cycling down to pit road. So the guys that pit earlier are the guys who pit more recently. So Award, Hunter Ray, Ilott, we'll start to see that. We'll see them pitting with like 15, 20 laps, or with about 15 laps to go. Meanwhile, the rest of them we'll see pitting with like 30 laps to go. But yeah. So far though, in terms of the new tires being able to make their way through the field, because that's kind of the big thing we're thinking that's going to be the factor here late in the race. The highest driver on that new strategy, I think, is still Pato O'Ward back in... Oh, I know, it's Sato. Sato in 10th place is the highest driver in terms of making their way through the field so far on those older tires. So Kuma Sato might be in position for another Indy win if, in fact, the two-stop strategy ends up beating the one-stop here at the end of the race. But so far, though, Ferrucci, Ericsson, and Newgarden, those front three, they don't want to give up this race win that easy. But here we go. They are back at the. They're back from their commercial break, which means we get the on track here, and let's see what we got. So yeah, right now though, again, they're all just kind of maintaining pace here. Ferrucci gonna try and I'm sure he's gonna try and maintain that gap, but the young kid, I doubt he will give up any time there. And Newgarden gets passed by Kyle Kirkwood, who already won the second biggest race of the IndyCar season a couple weeks ago at Long Beach. So now Long Beach, and now Kirkwood up into the top three here. It's definitely an interesting one to see making the move all the way up there, but yeah. Oh, and Ferrucci comes to pit road. What happened to... Why is Ferrucci pit... Oh, wait, we're entering the window. I didn't even realize. It's already lap 170, so... Ferrucci becomes the first driver to hit pit road on the... with Will Power as well on pit road. So, a couple of guys coming to pit road trying to get their final stop done here early. So, thinking that the... sooner they get their pit stop out the way, the sooner they can get up to speed with these new tires. Alright, so here we go. So Ferrucci, Malukas, and Power were the three that came to pit road that time. Pagenaud now coming to pit road this next time by. Pagenaud comes to pit road, and that will... again, continue this cycle, so we will start to see everybody cycling through pit road again. I think you'll see Pato O'Ward or Hunter Ray, Sato, all running a little longer here in this window, though, before we go to the checkers here. But, yeah, so far, though, not much going on, so... Kind of waiting to see what ends up happening. And there we go. Ericsson, Kirkwood, Newgarden, and Rosenquist come to pit road. So another batch of front runners coming to pit road here. Hopefully no speeders on pit road because they were all going pretty quick there on entry to pit road. You know, we'll have to wait and see. Dixon also on pit road, so Scott Dixon also among those pitting. So we'll have to wait and see, but again, we're continuing to cycle, and now Pelot and Rossi are the only people separating Takuma Sato from the front of the field. And Takuma Sato can theoretically go till about 10 to go even. They can probably go till about 10 to go when they want to pit. I think you'll want to pit a little earlier than that. That way your tires have time to work in. And you actually have time to utilize the fact you have fresh tires. But here we go. The battle for the lead on the strategy, though, looks like Ferrucci on Rosenquist there. Looks like the battle for the lead on that strategy. And here we go. Rossi and Pelot coming to pit road. Alexander Rossi and Alex Pelot coming to pit road. And that hands the lead to Takuma Sato, Pato Award, Hunter Ray, and Eli here. So, here we go. Tony Kanaan as well up into that top 5. Tony Kanaan up into the top 5 positions here. Agustin Canapino, he shows himself up in the top 10 for the first time today. Elio Castroneves, he's up there in the top 10 as well. Nice to see him back there. Colton Herta, after his penalty, he's back up inside the top 10. I got saved by the crash of his teammate that allowed him to get back on at the tail end of the lead lap. Benjamin Peterson comes to pit road, and Marco Andretti shows himself up into the up into 11th here. So Marco Andretti almost up into that top 10 here. But yeah, so right now though, looks like Rosenquist still the leader in terms of their strategy, though. I think he just made the pass on. Did he make the pass on? We'll have to wait and see. Here we go. Sato coming to pit road. So Sato making his pit stop earlier than expected. So Takuma Sato, I mean, he's in the range to make it. Marco up to 10th now, but yeah, did not expect to see Marco pitting this early though in terms of getting to pit road. So we'll have to wait and see, but I think we may be starting to see the end is definitely in sight here. We got 25 to go. I don't anticipate seeing many more people intentionally giving up the lead from here on to help out teammates or any of that stuff. I think we're through that. And Elio Castroneves comes to pit road. Elio pits, Augustine Canapino moving further to the front. So, here we go. Pato Award, Hunter Ray, and Ilott still in the top 3. Again, we're excited to see, though, how this ends up going between these guys. So, yeah, they're doing a promo right now for the Iowa doubleheader race later this year, which I'm definitely going to do at least one of those 2 races. And Pato Award just set his best lap of the race. Wow. 124. Yep, there is no fuel saving involved there. 124 mile an hour lap average speed. Yeah, there is no waiting on that one at this point. So Ferrucci in 15th. So he is not at the front of his strategy at this point. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But, yeah, I think Marcus Ericsson, I think, is leading the 2-stop strategy here. Or the 1-stoppers, I mean. The strategy that's not leading the race right now. And here we go. Carpenter, Kanaan, and McLaughlin all come to pit road here. Making their final stops of the race. again, this is about that window that I said I would want to make my final stop, because I would want to make it early enough that I can still pass some guys once I get my new tires on here. But I don't want to pit so early that I am essentially not gaining anything by having those fresher tires sooner. But yeah, I think it's really a toss-up here, though. But Ferrucci up into 11th place, I think it's pretty unlikely that his streak of top 10s breaks here today. I think he's going to end up in the top 10 yet again. But we will have to wait and see on this one. But yeah, here we go, though. That looks like, is that Rossi and... Yeah, that's Rossi and Newgarden fighting it out, and it looks like Newgarden just passed him. So Newgarden passing Rossi for 9th? Or no, that was Rossi making the overtake on Newgarden. Yeah, no, yeah, that was Newgarden passing Rossi. So Newgarden is ahead of Rossi. There we go. And now the leaderboard up reflects that, so... And here we go. Pato O'Ward comes to pit road. Race leader, Pato O'Ward comes to pit road, leaving Hunter Ray, Callum Ilott, Colton Herta, Augustine Canapino on the track. So those are your last 4 in terms of the alternate strategy, as Marco Andretti and Pato O'Ward come to pit road here together for this final stop. So it's going to be a fight. We're going to have to wait and see how this ends up going, but so far, Ferrucci up into that top 10, Marco Andretti falling quick. But where does Pato O'Ward cycle out at the end of all this? That's going to be the big question mark here. Because these stops do not take very long with these Indy cars. So we're curious to see. It looks like Pato O'Ward might cycle out ahead of Ericsson. We're going to have to wait and watch this blend, but... At least on the leaderboard, it looks like Pato O'Ward might be cycling ahead of Ericsson. Here we go, coming out onto the track. He's blending, and Ericsson goes by. So Ericsson goes by. The second car there goes by, so that's Rosenquist. So it looks like Pato O'Ward is 3rd right now. Pato O'Ward currently in 3rd place of the guys that have made their final stop. Colton Herta now making his final stop. Augustine Campino, Callum Ilott, and Ryan Hunter-Reay, the final 3 that have yet to pit. So here we go. Let's see who's going to end up making this pass for the win, though. That's going to be the big question here. Honestly, it's going to be tough to see. Oh, we see Rosenquist diving out of line, and so does Pato O'Ward. So they each try and dive out of each other's way, and Pato O'Ward picks up the pass on Rosenquist there for the race, or for the race's 2nd position in terms of the guys that can make it to the end. So the theoretical 2nd place. So we got about 15 laps to go. We're going to have to see where Colton Herta can blend out here, because Colton Herta is on the exit of pit road here, the warm-up lane. So let's see. Does Colton Herta, he's definitely going to lose a couple spots, I'm sure. But here we go. Here goes Pato O'Ward to the race lead. Pato O'Ward to the race lead. So Pato O'Ward is leading. Oh, wait, we got a yellow. We got a yellow. No, Pato O'Ward is not technically the race leader. We were just assuming that those guys in the front were going to have to pit for fuel due to the race running green. But now with this yellow, depending on who the yellow is for. Oh, yep, there it is. The NTT data cam. Oh, yeah, that's Felix Rosenquist, and he collects somebody else. What's that?
Including a guy getting hit by a tire in the middle of the stadium stands.
Yeah, that was Kyle Kirkwood, it looks like, that's upside down. Number 27, one of those pink and white cars. There's 100 of them, but I think that was Kyle Kirkwood there that got collected. Hopefully everybody's okay in that one. I mean, Kirkwood, the blood might be rushing to his head because he is upside down, but Luckily, there is kind of standard operating procedure for cars ending up upside down, which is a little unfortunate to think about, that cars end up upside down frequently enough to have a standard operating procedure.
I'm more worried about the guy that stands at the tire hit.
Did the tire actually clear the catch fence?
Yeah. Right up over the top of it.
Huh. Yeah, hopefully that tire didn't hit anybody. You sure it's not that one there on pit road? Or not on pit road, but at the edge of the course there by the white wall?
Pretty sure it went right over the catch.
Okay, because that catch fence is tall at Indianapolis. It's kind of hard to get over that. You know, we'll see it on replay, I'm sure. Welcome, everybody, by the way, for everybody that's tuning in. We got a pretty good race going. It's going to be Hunter Ray, Canapino, and Ilott are the race leaders. I think they're going to have to pit here, so it might hand this race to Ward or Erickson or Newgarden. But if they decide that they can make it, because this yellow might take a while to flip the car over, we might see those three try and stay out and try and fuel mileage this thing all the way to the end. I mean, absolutely do whatever you can to try and save the fuel you can here, but this race, it's going to be interesting to see what happens here.
All right. New update.
Oh, weather update.
Cup Garage opened at 3 p.m.
I'm going to say, my computer's saying heavy rain in our area, so, and we're not far from the track, I'm assuming it's still heavy rain there.
So Cup Garage opened at 3 p.m., but teams told they're on a hold for adjustments.
So
still raining, possible break soon, and then question is if and when will rain resume. Forecasts vary. With as much rain, humidity, probably 120 to 150 minutes to dry.
So that window's getting even longer in terms of the window to dry it. And everybody comes to pit road. Everybody is coming to pit road here in the Indy 500. Hunter Ray, Ilott, Canapino, Award, Erickson, Newgarden, Rossi, Ferrucci, Palou, Daly, Dixon, VK, Herta, Pagano, and Takuma Sato all coming to pit road. Everybody in the top 15. I'm guessing pretty much the entire field. I mean, you might see somebody towards the back half of that field try and stay out, but especially where anybody outside that top three should be able to make it on fuel here. All right, here we go. This is another replay of the wreck, so let's see if we can see this tire that you said cleared the catch fence. On board is not the greatest angle to see. Oh, yeah, no, yeah, not a great angle. Here we go. This one. This is the car that loses the tire. As long as we don't lose the camera. We lost the camera when it went upside down. Shocker.
The overview definitely showed it.
But I only saw one tire missing on the car when it came to a stop, and I saw the one tire near the wall.
Right there. See it going flying? Went right over the top of it.
I thought I saw a piece of metal. I didn't see a tire. Because, yeah, you can see three tires still tethered to the car up and down.
Car. There's several cars that lost tires. Looked like.
Did?
Yeah.
I thought the only car that lost a tire there was the one that went upside down. Here we go. Slow-mo. This is... Because there were only two cars really involved. It was this orange and white one.
There's the tire that went over the catch fence.
Oh, yeah, that did go over there. I think it cleared the entire grandstand, so... Okay, that was a very high-flying tire, but... Yeah, it didn't hit the catch fence. Or didn't hit the catch fence, didn't hit...
Look at that thing fly.
Yep. Hey, is that old toy that we used to play with called Flywheels? Yeah, so again, good thing that missed the grandstands, because we have seen that happen at, I think it was Charlotte in an IndyCar race where a tire got up into the grandstands and a couple of people did die in that incident. So glad to see that one miss the grandstands. But yeah, only two cars were involved in that wreck, so there were only a combined 8 tires that could have been flying.
Oh, and they just actually showed where it hit.
Yeah.
And there was nobody out there.
So, yep. Because everybody's inside the track.
Yeah, it actually hit on a road.
Souvenir for someone to go race and pick up.
Yep.
But, yeah. I think everybody will be coming down pit road, though. Kind of curious. It says everybody's still on pit road, which... Oh, they're red flagging this thing. They're going to red flag the race. So, yeah, we got a red flag here in the Indy 500 yet again. What was at one point a rare occurrence. You now see a lot of red flags, but, man. Again, hopefully Kirkwood's okay. He appears okay from the in-car camera that did survive. But, yeah, going to commercial break here. Again, hoping that Pelot is okay. But, yeah, this definitely turns the race upside down, though, on its head. So, hopefully we can see a pretty good finish here to the race. But, yeah, that definitely spiked the intensity meter here, though. So, Hunter Ray, Ilott, Canapino. That's going to be the interesting ones to see what they do. And then from there, curious to see what the rest of the field does. But where they pulled everybody down pit road makes it a lot harder to figure out exactly what people are doing in terms of their strategy. Because in terms of strategy, you could very easily see you could see 10, 15 cars potentially pit, but I think it'd be hard pressed to see everybody stay out here. Or everybody pit, I mean. Because I think somebody somewhere in the field would take that chance to try and gain some track position here for the finish. Where it's only going to be probably about 5 to 10 laps maximum for the remainder of the race. And that's why they threw the red flag, was to try and keep this thing from going any further in terms of the race without getting progress. Trying to end this race under the green flag as well is the goal. Hopefully we can see the finish under the green flag, because that would be nice. But yeah, glad we managed to finally get to see the where that car ended, or where the tire ended up hitting. But yeah. They're all stopped on pit road, and there's a lot of people around there. So I wonder if that gives any kind of indication as to whether or not they're going to go back racing anytime soon, because a lot of people out there, although you do have a lot of mechanics and stuff that probably want to make sure that they get shade on those cars, because there's no shade down there on the pit lane. But yeah. So Santino Ferrucci in 8th place. I'm curious to see how aggressive he gets trying to win this race at the end. Like him and Sato, I think those are going to be your two guys to watch here on this restart to see, because I'm sure one of them, if not both of them, will do something nutty coming to the end of this race trying to win it. So here we go. So they talked with Santino briefly. Now they're going to the NBC pit box with Dale Jr., Danica Patrick, and I'm not sure who the other guy is there. Is that Mike Tirico, maybe? And say he's one of the kind of just NBC TV personalities that goes and does a lot of their bigger events. So, yeah, that is Mike Tirico. Okay. So, here we go. As I say, under the red flag right now for anyone that's just tuning in with us. So, yeah, a lot of question marks here in terms of what strategy is going to happen. The 3 cars out front, Ryan Hunter-Reay, Ilott, and Augustine Canapino, they all pretty much, I'm pretty certain, have to pit here when we go back green. The rest of the field shouldn't need to, but they definitely can if they feel like fresh tires are going to be an advantage, and or because they should all be very comfortably able to make it to the end on pit road. Oh, they roll. Oh, they got back rolling. Okay, they're rolling on pit road here, and rolling back out onto the track, and we're gonna see who all actually pits here. So here we go. Canapino. So Canapino, Ray, Ilott, looks like Award. Looks like everybody's coming back down pit road. Wonder, are they stopping them again, or are they, or are these actually the pit stops? Maybe they're, because yeah, they were just out on the racetrack. Now the entire field coming back down pit road. Don't know if they were just trying to log one lap, kind of see what it's like, but as again, a lot of people on pit road. But they just showed them back out on the racetrack. So here we go. So yeah, it looks like they took him out, did one lap, and came back down pit road. Not sure as to why. I mean, maybe it was so the drivers could kind of get an idea of what the track looks like and see what areas the drivers wanted swept or looked at potentially before they went back green, because I could understand that as an idea. But yeah, right now though, IndyCar, I'm sure they're just taking their time. They don't want to end up with a instance. And is that a update or is that a post from yesterday?
Anything new? 22 minutes ago was the last one that I read.
Okay, so it was just a pre-race show getting canceled, so they're going to go right into the race to try and get it going. But yeah, nothing to do with the actual race getting canceled or anything. But yeah, so here we go. Welcome everybody to the stream that's just decided to pop by. We're here getting ready for the end of the Indy 500, and wow, got a lot of people in here. But yeah, getting ready for the end of the Indy 500. We got 14 laps to go, and the red flag is out. All the drivers are on pit road, and yeah, we got a very limited amount of a limited amount of drivers kind of in position to win this one. But yeah, we just had a pretty big, scary airborne crash there for Kyle Kirkwood going up and over. Felix Rosenquist spun backwards and his rear tires were caught, and it was the rear tire of Rosenquist that went up and cleared the catch fence and all that. But yeah, welcome to everybody in the stream. If you guys are new, of course, subscribe so that you guys don't miss any other content. I'm here in my hotel room getting ready to go to Charlotte here in a little bit. hopefully, assuming that the rain lets up. But yeah, so I've been at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the last several days getting ready for the Coke 600, but didn't want to miss the Indy 500. So they're talking with Felix Rosenquist, who's out of the race and out of the infield care center. So good to see that Rosenquist appears okay. So that's always kind of concern number one when you see a big crash, is that both drivers are okay. So that's halfway there. We've seen one driver okay. And again, from the in-car camera, it looked like Kirkwood was okay as well, because the in-car camera actually survived the upside-down flip. But yeah, that was definitely not an ideal crash for either driver, though. Although I don't know if there is such thing as an ideal crash. I think the ideal crash is no crash. But yeah.
He
but
had the presence of mind to open his visor while he was going upside down.
Yeah, that probably not the smartest idea to open your visor. Although, again, with the in-car camera still there, it does let the crew know that you're okay for now.
Yeah.
Because I know with NASCAR, you go and let the window net down. I'm not sure putting the visor up does the same thing, especially inside the car. Yeah. But yeah, so hopefully, we'll hear from Kirkwood soon, I'm sure, on if he's okay or not. But yeah, right now we're just kind of waiting to see if we can get this thing back to racing here. Yeah, I'm sure if there is significant injury, I'm pretty sure we would have heard an update already about him going to the local hospital if it were major. But yeah. But yeah, working our way here. We got the Indy 500. Getting ready for the end of the race. Let's say, oh. All right. It looks like it didn't hit the road. It looks like maybe it hit one of those cars, the tire, in the parking lot. And I said that might in itself become a collectible piece at some point.
The car.
Yeah, the car that got hit. Yep. But yeah.
Someone's white happy.
Or hey, you know what? Just give the tire to the guy that hit the car. Like, give the tire to the car that got hit by it. Seems reasonable to me.
As long as it didn't hit both cars.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to cut a tire up multiple ways, but yeah, because that collectible car, the collectible wheel might be able to sell and make up for some of the damages done. But yeah, so talking with Larry Foyt, that's AJ Foyt's son. He's the team manager, and he is on the pit box here for Ferrucci today. So yeah, again, we're just kind of waiting to see if we can get back racing. But who do you guys think, by the way, is going to win this race? We got a lot of people in here, so I think we could have a lot of things. My pre-race pick was Ferrucci. He's a little far back there for back in 8th place. Again, I'm curious because we'll have to wait and see what pit stops do to this running order, but I think we could very easily see a big shakeup in the running order here. All right. Well, running order. Hunter Ray, Ilott, Canapino, Paddle Ward, Erickson, Newgarden, Alexander Rossi, Santino Ferrucci, Alex Palou, Connor Daly, your top 10. Scott Dixon in 11th. 12th is Arenas VK. 13th, Colton Herta. 14th, Simon Pagenaud. And rounding out the top 15 is Takuma Sato. Then on to page 2, we got Scott McLaughlin, Delvin DiFrancesco, or Devlin DiFrancesco, not Delvin. Then we've got Tony Kanaan in 18th. 19th, Elio Castroneves looking for his 5th Indy 500 win. Benjamin Peterson I believe he's the highest running rookie, and he might even be the only rookie remaining at this point in the race, running 20th. Marco Andretti running 21st. 22nd, Jack Harvey. 23rd, Ed Carpenter. 24th, Christian Lundgaard. And 25th, Graham Rahal. And I believe that is everybody that's really left in this race. Yeah. I say Will Power back. He's back in 28th place, about 6 laps down as well. But winning the race from 6 laps down, I don't know if it's really possible at this point with how many laps are left in the race. But yeah. So who do you guys think, though, out of all those guys is going to win this thing? Of course, I think the pit stop will play a major factor in this, as it tends to do. But here we go. And, yep, they are on track and rolling. So let's see who all is going to be coming down pit road this time. I'm guessing pit road's open first time by now that if they were going to red flag it. So you don't send it back to yellow until you're ready to open pit road. So let's see. Again, Hunter Ray, Ilott, and Canapino, I think, are almost definitely pitting here. The rest of the field, I think you can question who pits and who doesn't here. But we'll have to wait and see, because Ericsson right there in the mix, he could go back-to-back. It's going to be weird to potentially see him try and go for the back-to-back win. First time since 2001 and 2002 when Elio got his first and second win at the 500. So, here we go. So, nobody pit that time. So, I'm guessing pit road wasn't open because, again, I'm expecting Hunter Ray, Ilott, and Canapino to pit. Oh, wait, Agustin Canapino. I think he's a rookie. Yeah, he's a rookie in the race, too. So, here we go. Yeah, so, yeah, no shocker, but all of the front three, I think, are definitely pitting.
Doobie Brothers canceled. Concert canceled.
Yeah. Yeah, that might have been the pre-race thing I saw getting canceled. But, yeah. Here we go, going through turn 3. This is going to be the big moment. Are we going to see... So we know we're going to see Hunter Ray peel off to pit road, and I'm assuming Ilott and Canapino are both coming as well. Then from there, I think you can open up the question mark of, does somebody try and pit here to get some fresh tires? I don't think you see it. Oh, there are some. So we got a mixed field here. So Canapino looked like maybe a lap down car that followed them down pit road, none of the leaders. So Pato O'Ward, Ericsson, Newgarden, your top 3. Rossi and Ferrucci round out the top 5. So, man, that's a bummer for those 3 teams because it's going to be hard to come through the field if they are the only ones to pit. Looks like Tony Kanaan also jumped in the pits with them towards the back half of the top 20 there. And again, it's not impossible to run their way through the field, but where everybody else stayed out, it's going to be tough. Especially where, unlike in NASCAR, there is no overtime in IndyCar. If we get a yellow that would end the race, they may try and red flag it to end the race, or to try and get the race under green to end, but I'm not a big fan of doing that in IndyCar, mainly because if you're going to end at lap 200 anyway, trying to red flag it to get a green flag finish feels a little bit, it just feels a little weird, but again, we got a long way to go here still. We got 10 laps, which that's over 20, that's almost 30 miles still, so. The exciting ones further back, you got Takuma Sato in 12th. He's going to be a party to see. But yeah, so it looks like Hunter Ray, Ilott, and So it looks like about 15th on back came to pit road. So back half the field, I guess, all pit. But yeah, here we go, getting ready. I believe it'll be next time by that we go green. So next time by, and we will be seeing the green flag. So here we go, getting ready for the restart here. So we're gonna have 10 laps to go when we go green here. And let's say we got Pato. Pato's got some fans up there in the grandstands. All right, so here we go. So Alex Below up into 6th place after the contact on pit road there. And you got Marinas VK is 9th after being involved in that contact. Actually, ironically, both the cars with avoidable contact penalties for contact on pit road are 9th and 10th right now, with Herta in 10th and VK in 9th. So here we go. Scott Dixon there in 8th place, hoping to end this curse. And there we go. There we're talking with Kyle Kirkwood. That's nice.
His hair still looks good.
Yep. Yeah, so Kyle Kirkwood looks good. He's standing all on his own, so he is okay. It's nice to see that he's okay after all that. But yeah, so glad to see that everybody was ultimately okay from all that. But yeah, here we go. Ready for the restart. We got 10 laps to go. It'll be 9 to go at the line this time. So 9 laps to go. Do they not have a pace car at this point? Where'd the pace car go? Because can't imagine this field is going to behave too well without a pace car in terms of the pace. But yeah. Where did the pace car go? Can we get a shot of the front of the field again? Maybe we can find that pace car? Nope. I think they left it in the hands of the leaders here. So here we go. Award, Ericsson, Newgarden, Rossi, and Ferrucci. That's your top 5 that are going to fight this one out. As we come off of turn 4, they're going to get the command to go green here. We're all waiting for it. And is going to be... Yeah, I thought we were going to get the green flag off that corner, but they keep it going. They keep it yellow here. They're winding this down even lower here. I thought we were going green that time. Yeah, they waved it off. It was supposed to be green that time, but they waved it off here. So yeah, they waved off the restart here. I feel like waving off the restart, though, I feel like that anticipation is going to be getting to some of these younger guys. But yeah, I'm curious to see what Ferrucci can do from 5th place. It'll be hard to really find a gap because I'm assuming the front 4 are going to go 3, maybe even 4 wide, but... So apparently Award was just going too slow there, I guess, and that's why they waved it off. But here we go. We're going to be green flag this time. Green, green, green. Here we go. Let's see. Coming through 3 and 4. This time we should be seeing that green flag. Don't go so slow this time, Award. Green, green, green flag is out, and they are racing once again at Indianapolis here. And Ericsson jumps to the outside on Award here. And he's got, we got 3 wide for the race lead here. And it looks like, was that Ericsson and Newgarden now? Newgarden to the race lead, I think. Did Newgarden get that, or did Ericsson take that lead? It's hard to tell because they're both red and white cars. Yeah. But yeah, Newgarden around the outside there. And here we go. Oh, no! Pato O'Ward spins and crashes in turn number 3.
Does a wheelie.
Pato O'Ward crashes it. He's still good, but we get the yellow flag, and we're going to bunch him up and do it again. This time, Ferrucci is in the catbird seat.
Someone else is back there.
Spot number 3. What? Someone just ran right into the back of the disabled car there. Who was that?
So there's 3 cars out of the
No, that was 2, I thought.
There's another one.
Oh, there's another one even further back. I thought you were talking about that car there. Is that the 23? Oh, that's
6.
06. That's Elio. Oh, that was Augustine Canapino was the car that ran into the back of Award doing the wheelie. So that was Canapino, that was Castro Neves, and that was Pato O'Ward, all collected in almost 3 completely separate incidents, because I don't know what happened in the back, but here we go.
Flag.
Yep, this is in an event. This is trying to get the race to go green flag finish. So they're going to red flag it here, bring everybody down pit road while they clean up everything. And then they're going to try and get this thing back to green flag racing for one more restart here.
I want to see a car that was just going so slow up behind.
Yeah, that's the 78 of Canapino that you're looking for that replay.
I'm assuming he was texting.
I don't think he was texting and driving. But, yeah, I guarantee he was, it's possible that he and Elio were a part of something and he had no brakes. That's my guess. Is that he and Elio got together in the back there and some part of that contact lost Canapino's brakes. That's my best guess, at least. But Elio does climb out the car. So here we go. They're pulling down everybody down pit road here. So hopefully, again, everybody's cars stay intact. Because I remember at Detroit, I think it was a year or 2 ago that Will Power's car melted in his lap under a red flag trying to get the race back to green flag finish. And they couldn't get the car restarted because it overheated when he came down pit road. And there we go. Canapino is out of his car. He looks okay. So let's see. Looking towards the back of the field here. And they're not going to focus on that. They're going to focus on Pato O'Ward hitting the fence there. Here we go. Let's see. What happened between Canapino? Nope, that's going to show O'Ward again. Another angle of that wheelie that he did. I want to see a replay of what happened between Canapino and Elio, because again, they're in the back half of the field, so they would have been together. But yeah, that's what I want to see here. Is I want to see that replay here. So yeah, now they're showing Canapino coming up right behind him and doing a massive wheelie off the back of Pato O'Ward's car. But at that point, the damage had been done, I think. Here we go. On board with Elio. So Elio spins around. Yeah, and then I'm guessing somewhere along in that spin, here we go. Canapino's on board. This is what I was looking for. So, yeah, so, that's the replay of him hitting the 5 car. Is there no explanation before that? Because his car did not look like it was stopping there. So here we go. McLaughlin running into the back of, McLaughlin ran into the back of Elio. Still haven't seen what happened to the light blue 78 car before this. Like, they're going to show that replay 100 times of the wheelie. I mean, the fact that he was going that slow in the first place tells me that he probably didn't have brakes, and he must have had some sort of incident before this. But I guess we're just not going to get a replay of what happened, so everybody comes down pit road for the red flag, and we have got ourselves a second red flag in the race. Joseph Newgarden, Marcus Ericsson, Santino Ferrucci, your top three. Man, Newgarden's gonna be bummed if he doesn't get this race win. Considering the fact that he went out there and won it and would have won it under the yellow if they were willing to end it under yellow, but they really want to try and end it under green if at all possible. I'm curious if they may try and do a green-white checker. If they do have another small incident, but it would be very much out of their norm. So I don't think they would do it, but we've seen weirder, I think. So, yep. But another commercial break, which means we get another good chance to just kind of see if anyone, who anybody thinks is going to win this race at this point. So my pick, Santino Ferrucci, still looking pretty solid. But yeah, that pick of picking Santino Ferrucci to win this race, looking pretty solid. So here we go. So yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see for this restart, but I'm still thinking Ferrucci for this win, but again, Pato O'Ward was looking very strong up until that wreck. But it's gonna be interesting to see what ends up happening here, though. But now that everybody's down on pit road, though, we're just kind of waiting it out for the restart. Defending winner Ericsson's still running second. He might be able to pull something. Scott Dixon trying to end his the Dixon curse there with so many fast cars and good opportunities and only one win to speak for. And no win since 2008, so it's going to be a tough one. But, let's see. Herta and VK are 8th and 9th now. Sato up into the top 10. Callum Ilott up into 11th. So, Augustine Canapino's teammate, we might be able to see a good finish out of one of those two cars at least. But so again, they're going to take this red flag and they're going to make sure they get everything cleaned up so they can have as long a restart as possible here. But I think this will end up being your last restart when we go green. But not a very good look here for, let's say. All right, so they're just showing the replay of what happened to, can we still not get a replay of what happened with Canapino, really? Oh, that's a replay we hadn't seen before. The in-car when the wheelie happened, but it's not the replay we were looking for, NBC. Come on.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, as I say, the first wheelie was pretty cool, high speed and safe. The second one, though, they said they're saying he had no control, but okay, here we go. Let's see. Okay, so he was.
Oh, he spun.
Yeah, so he spun. That's why he and yeah, that contact with the
Yeah.
wall probably broke. Probably,
Steering column.
well, yeah, broke the steering column, but probably also disabled the brakes, which is why he wasn't able to stop. Now, because kind of your second resort whenever you're rolling towards a car like that is to scrub off speed by steering into the fence. That's kind of opportunity number 2 if you struggle to get the brakes to slow this car down. But yeah, so we go red flag here. But yeah, so we finally figured out what, I don't know why it took them so long to figure out what happened to Canapino's car, but hey, at least we got to finally see it. It's not like we had a shortage of time to see it, because we have a nice long red flag here that will last until they are ready to go green. Here we go. So yeah, they're just showing the replay of the run on the restart. But yeah, there is not much for other places. I mean, you go anywhere there is clean air is where you go. I mean, because yeah, that third place, they were 3 wide for both rows there. But yeah, that definitely looked reminiscent of the 2012 wreck that they mentioned earlier with looking like Sato and Franchitti from 2012. But yeah, I don't see any way that it's going to be really tough for Newgarden to win this as the race leader, though, because you really are a sitting duck. Like, there is not much you can do because you can't brake check the field, otherwise you get a penalty and you lose the race. You can't jump too early, otherwise you get a penalty and you lose the race. So you have to jump precisely. If the guy in second jumps a little early, and as long as they don't make it too obvious that they jump a little early, they can essentially be on the gas before you because a lot less scrutiny there. And again, sitting duck, I think, is going to be Joseph Newgarden on this race from the race lead. Now, again, that would just be the drag race into 1, and maybe down the back straightaway you see Newgarden be able to battle back, but I think Ericsson and Ferrucci are going to be in the catbird seat to win this thing. But Palou back up into that top 5, though. Nice to see a driver that had a really bad incident there to start the day. Starting to look like he may actually get a good finish out of all of it. But yeah, man. Just a crazy day, honestly, when it comes to the Indy 500 here. And according to my computer, the rain has stopped here, so
yeah.
We'll just have to wait and see if that's enough for us to end up over at Charlotte later tonight for the 600 there.
Yeah, it's stopped for the next 2 hours.
Wonder if Larson's left the track at Indy yet.
Supposed to restart at 6 o'clock.
That's not good because that's exactly when we're supposed to be there.
Yeah. Light rain from 6 to 8:30, and then heavier rain from 8:30 to 11.
All right. So here we go. They're going to yellow. The yellow flag has been displayed to the drivers. Yellow flag has been displayed. We are ready to go racing. Just about. But yeah, the yellow flag has been displayed. They are back to rolling on pit road. Here we go. So Santino in third place is going to be interesting to see how what he does to try and get this one. Curious to see what Ericsson does here. Does he go higher this time to try and block the potential move? Because in IndyCar, you can't you have to be the first one to move if you're going to make a block, quote unquote, because blocking itself, you can't make a second move, and you have to be premeditated, or you have to be predicting a wreck or a move and not reacting to what the person behind you is doing. But I think at the end of the Indy 500, I think they will be more lenient on blocking penalties than they would anywhere else. But yeah, because we haven't seen a blocking penalty officially given out since Long Beach 2019, I think, was the last time we really had a real blocking penalty. So here we go. They are rolling off pit road for this race, and they're talking about AJ Foyt here. And here we go, rolling around and getting ready for the restart. Hopefully you guys are all excited for this one. I know I certainly am. But I'm on the edge of my seat here. Let's go. I think they'll probably take one full pace lap before they go green. They send them green right away. Give them a lap to warm their tires up, potentially see the entire track, kind of get an idea for where there might be, if there is any extra debris, or if there's a spot that they think might look good for a pass opportunity. I think they'll want to see that. So we'll be going green with 4 laps to go. 4 to go is what we will be restarting with. But yeah, it's going to be wild to see what ends up happening here. Rossi in 4th. Rossi has been one of the wildest drivers here at the 500 in the last several years. Like him and Ferrucci are two of the younger guys who go absolutely wild for these 500 wins. Although Rossi has won, Ferrucci has yet to find victory lane so far. I think a wreck here at the end might be the only thing that derails, though, Ferrucci's top 10 efforts that he's had in every 500 he's ever attempted. So here we go. Coming off of turn number 3. This should be the green flag this time. Green flag this time. Or is Joseph Newgarden checking them up way too much again? Here we go. Green flag is out. Green. Green flag is out, and they are racing at Indianapolis. 4 laps to go. There'll be 4 to go at the line here.
And there goes
and there's a wreck. And wait, who got the lead though? Was it Ericsson? Was it Newgarden? Is that going to be the end of the Indy 500? I think it might be. We'll have to wait and see. Scoring is showing Ericsson as the race leader. But we'll have to wait and see.
Before they even got to the line.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll have to see what ends up happening here. But yeah, that was Benjamin Peterson involved in that wreck, along with Ed Carpenter, the local hero there. But yeah. Let's say I think they have time for a red flag. If they go and red flag this right now and bring him down pit road, but I don't think they're gonna do it though, because here we go, 3 laps to go. It's gonna be way too tight. I think they try and get this out unless they're gonna do a 1-lap shootout. No, I don't think there's enough time. I think Ericsson might win back-to-back Indy 500s here. But yeah, it's possible though that if they didn't get to the line before they threw the yellow, it's possible that Newgarden gets it because he was technically the leader. Although you're allowed to pass before the line, so maybe not. So where is the official mark that they go to? Because yeah, it's gonna be a curious one to see what ends up happening here. But yeah, right now though, it looks like Ericsson leading. Looks like Newgarden gave up 2 more spots. I don't know why he's 4th, but Ferrucci's 2nd. Yeah, so this might be it for the Indy 500.
No, the red flag.
Oh, red flag. Oh, no. They're throwing the red. Is this going to be a one-lap shootout for the Indy 500? Are we going to see a one-lap shootout for the Indy 500? Another red flag. Oh, my. This is going to be a cluster when they go green because it's going to be a one-lap shootout. And yeah, the Chip Ganassi crew is not happy about that. But yeah. You got Ferrucci, you got Rossi, and you got Newgarden. Second, third, fourth here. Ferrucci gained one spot on the last restart. Okay, so it looks like whoever that car is, I don't know which one that was, but he was definitely at fault. He just kind of pushed his way through and just ran into the other two.
So they did get to the line before the yellow.
Well, before the flag flew or before the lights turned on? Because lights around the track are automated with the person with the button. Sometimes it takes a minute for the person with the flag to get the message. Yeah. Well, and again, that doesn't really matter because of the fact that we're going to another restart anyway. It'll determine the restart order, but it won't determine the race end here as we go red flag again. Here we go, another red flag and the first ever, to my knowledge, one-lap shootout here in the Indianapolis 500. Hopefully you guys are excited for the end of this one. I know I certainly am. But yeah. As I say, first ever one-lap shootout in the Indy 500's history. It's gonna. As I say, I don't see a way we get this one under. We get to the checkered flag under green, though. I mean, the amount of wrecks trying to get spots, I don't see them getting through it 4 corners here without an incident. But yeah. So here we go. Who do you guys think is going to win this one? Actually, let me go ahead and put up a poll real quick for you guys.
I got a poll for you. Will they actually finish the final lap?
I think everybody knows the answer to that. It's not gonna. They are not gonna win this race under the green flag. Here we go. So Ericsson, Ferrucci, Rossi's probably the only one I'm certain I'm spelling right. Let me see. How is Ferrucci spelled? 2 R's and 2 C's. Okay, I actually spelled Ferrucci right. So here we go. There's a poll for you guys to vote on. Who do you guys think is going to win the Indy 500? I put in the top 3 runners currently according to the IndyCar app, and I also put in the driver. I also put in other for an option because it only lets me put in 4 options. So I say they're doing a quick interview here with Pato O'Ward as we get ready to go. Are they rolling? There's no way. No, this is a replay. Yeah, that's a replay of Pato going around again. Yeah. So here we go. Let's see how this poll is going to end up going. But yeah, wonder how many times they're going to show that ad in the promotional material for IndyCar the rest of the year, with the slow wheelie over the back of the awards car, because they seem to love that replay. So sounds like Pato is definitely not happy about the way that race ended for him. So sounds like probably next time he would just end up taking out himself and the car behind him. But yeah. Hopefully you guys are excited. I know I am about the end of this race.
Your, line.
Yeah, with the lights.
With the lights.
So we're going to get the official restart order. Yep, so yeah, so I think Newgarden should be further up the field. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so the TV I think has their leaderboard right. For whatever reason, Newgarden's being shown fourth on the IndyCar.com leaderboard that I got. All right, so Newgarden is second. Good. That's the one I was worried about.
Your boy's up in third now.
Yeah, I know that he's in second on my leaderboard, but yeah. Yeah, so Ferrucci, he was in third on the previous restart, so I guess we'll have to wait and see here. It's going to be a one-lap shootout. That's going to be crazy. So here we go. I hope that's not the way this Indy 500 is going to end. Because, yeah, I would not like it if Ericsson goes slow to try and get them to wave off the restart like they did a couple times ago for Pato O'Ward. I don't think they will wave it off either if he tries that. I don't think they will. I think they'll just throw the green anyway because they want this race to at least have another green flag. But they've been getting closer and closer to this Indy 500 having a green-white checker here, or even a one-lap shootout for years. Looks like we're finally getting our one-lap shootout that we never wanted. So Race Control still looking at the order here for this one. So we've passed 1,000 views on the stream so far. Welcome, everybody. Thank you guys for everybody that's tuned in throughout the day. It's a really long race so far, which, I mean, hey, it's a 500-miler. It's no surprise, but with how long IndyCar races have been on this channel the last couple of times we've covered them, it's kind of surprising. So back-to-back Indy 500s, you've had Elio, Al Unser, not sure how to pronounce some of those other names, Wilbur Shaw, Marie Rose, and Bill Yolkovich, something like that. I say I'm not the most well-versed in those names, and those are some spellings I'm definitely not familiar with.
Still raining at the track.
Still raining at the track, okay, because it says cloudy still on my phone, or on my computer, so. All right.
Hope is it lets up as the radar shows.
Yeah. Hopefully. Because, yeah, that track drying effort might be, it's going to be tough here.
Saying 90-minute minimum.
Well, they've been saying 90-minute minimum from the past few days.
Right, I'm just saying that's the minimum.
Yeah, I know.
Of time
And saying earlier today, didn't they say a 120 minimum in Bob's earlier update?
120 to 150.
Yeah. So yeah,
that 2 hours. Just to dry the track minimum.
Yep. And that's assuming that it stops raining here,
Right.
which is no guarantee about the Coke 600's hopes. But yeah, so they're showing the remainder of this race, and I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the one-lap shootout. Not a big fan of the idea of trying to leave one of the world's biggest races up to one lap, mainly because I think that it could be so dangerous with all the drivers trying to gun it. I mean, someone in the back of the field could be absolutely trying something. Like, if you're going to do a one-lap shootout, I don't know. I don't know how you do it safely. That's my biggest concern here. But, yeah. So, getting ready for the green flag. It's gonna be crazy, that's for sure. Hopefully you guys are excited and along for the ride, because we're all here, and it's gonna be chaos as soon as they drop that green flag. And they are rolling. The yellow flag has been displayed, and we are rolling here. So they are rolling right now, getting ready for the green. So Marcus Ericsson trying to go back-to-back here. I would like to see Ericsson get it back-to-back, although I think Ferrucci, Ferrucci and Foyt here, I would like, is still my pre-race pick. I'm sticking with them. But, yeah, it's 2 laps to go, but when they cross to take the green, yeah, it'll be 1. So here we go. Going to be starting lap 200 as they cross the line here. Here we go. It's going to be the first ever time. Green flag is out, and the white flag is going to be with it. Green and white, green and white. So here we go. Green, green, green. Green flag is out, and they are racing at Indy. Green and white flags together. Green and white. Not green and white checker like in NASCAR when you get a stage finish. And I thought someone was about to hit the barrier there on the entrance to pit road with the swerving that they were doing. But Ferrucci holds on to third here. But hey, you know what? All credit to Ericsson here. He manages to maintain the lead through 1 and 2. He might be in position for a back-to-back Indy win. Swerving down the bottom. Newgarden to the outside. Newgarden looking like he might take it. So here we go.
Ferrucci's waiting for them to
crash. Yeah, Joseph Newgarden to the lead here in turns 3 and 4. Going through turn 4 at the Indianapolis 500 in a one-lap shootout. And wow, they are actually going to finish this one under green. Surprising. But here we go. They're snaking it side by side, and Joseph Newgarden will win at Indianapolis. Joseph Newgarden gets his Indy 500 win. Ericsson second. Ferrucci third. Palou fourth, and rounding out your top 5 is Rossi. Man, that's exciting to see Joseph Newgarden finally get his Indy 500 win after all these years driving for Penske. And it's been a while for Penske, since 2019. First time he wins the race as the owner of the race, since he bought the Speedway back in 2019. He hadn't actually won the race, so... Also, going down the rest of the finishing order, Dixon, Takuma Sato, Connor Daly, Colton Herta, Renus VK, your top 10. Hunter Ray, Callum Ilott, Devlin DiFrancesco, Scott McLaughlin, and Elio Castroneves, the top 15. Oh, man, wow. I can't believe they got that thing under green to the finish. Tony Kanaan comes home 16th in what might be his final Indy 500. Marco Andretti 17th, 18th for Jack Harvey, 19th for Christian Lundgaard, 20th for Ed Carpenter, Benjamin Peterson 21st, 22nd for Graham Rahal, 23rd for Will Power, 24th for Pato O'Ward, 25th Simon Pagenaud, 26th Augustine Canapino, 27th Felix Rosenquist, 28th 27th, Felix Rosenquist. 28th, Kyle Kirkwood. 29th, David Malukas. Romain Grosjean rounds out the top 30. And then your back three were Stingray Robb, R.C. Anderson, and Catherine Legg, who were the first three out of the race. So, man, I'm excited to see Newgarden get that win. So, congrats to anyone who picked Newgarden for the race win. Looks like we had maybe one person who picked other, I think. So, yeah. Yep, so Ericsson ends up coming home second, which would be a devastating blow. But hey, you know what? The near $500,000 jackpot for back-to-back wins is still alive for Newgarden next year to potentially chase. But man, he's climbing the catch fence just like his former teammate Elio Castroneves did for his win. So, man, massive congratulations to Joseph Newgarden. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you guys did enjoy this race, leave a like on the video. Subscribe if you guys are new so you guys don't miss another video or live stream. But until next time, this has been Ryan Dyer on YouTube, and hopefully I will see you guys next video, live stream, whatever you guys say to do with the rest of your day. Have a great day, everybody, and goodbye! That was long.